All
Go
right.
for it.
What is going on, guys? It's Yoji. Welcome to Baeclast episode 5. In this episode, we have replaced Ziggy by Sonic the Hedgehog. We also have RaizQT, Tarke, and CuteDog as always, and me, Yoji. And we will talk about, let me look at the show notes, the damage over time manifestos and changes that have recently been released by GGG. The beta has been delayed apparently, which I didn't know about because I don't really care about the beta, but we will talk about that as well. And community racing, that's actually super awesome. I've been watching a lot of that. I don't race, but I watch a lot of that. And we will talk about all the stuff tied to community racing. Or Rise will talk about that because he actually knows stuff about it. And maybe there will be some off-topic rants I see in this as well. So we don't know yet. There's always potential for that, as you might have noticed. So yeah, that's basically it.
All right, thank you for that. Right, before we get into it, I want to get this out of the way. I'm going to show the clip. I had a message from Ziz before we started saying, "Is it okay if we talk about the I can't move death?" So I'm just gonna play the clip. I'll explain what happened, and then
Wait, this is a joke about Tarke? I thought we were joking about me. Yes.
No, no,
what?
we're taking the
I
piss out of
thought
you.
I just instantly think Raiz.
Yeah, I thought it was about me. Thank
I thought
gosh.
I couldn't move, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So what happened was, this is my first shield charge character of the league, and I died to fucking shield charge. So I was on my ED character. I'm running Beacon or whatever map it is, and I didn't notice that there was this little wall thing that I was stood next to. So I'm trying to shield charge out of the volley, and I'm just like hitting the wall, doing nothing, and dying. So yeah, I'm stupid, and I'll play it again for anyone who missed it the first time. So basically, Blink Arrow is the best movement skill in the game, because you don't need to pay any attention to where you're stood. And yeah. So yeah.
I don't even know what you died to. I haven't seen this before.
I haven't seen it either. Oh.
Yeah.
It's like one ball hits you in the face, you just fall over.
I was talking about the Rise one. It's like my favorite meme.
Yeah.
So good.
The SRS thing, right?
Raiz makes like a counter post to Reddit saying that he died to like bear traps. Like, listen, you inbreds.
I'm still so mad about that.
I think my
You have
favorite
no
thing
idea.
about that was like the name of the video is something like "Why Reddit is Wrong,"
Yeah.
and like whenever you search for Pee Wee Reddit, like the first thing that comes up is Rise's video, like bitching about his death.
You know what the bad part is? I should have flipped it around. I should have talked about, oh well, this lags and that, and then I should have went into the Reddit is inbred part, you know. But I did it the opposite, so it made me look real salty, which I
Rise
was.
has two of my three favorite deaths of all PoE time. The first one's that guy that gets grabbed by the Essence hand, boom, just vaporizes. And then it's the why did you leave me and I couldn't move. They're my three favorite deaths.
Why did you leave me?
Why
That
did
was
you leave? Is that the
good.
labyrinth one where you just dash around in the?
It's the Minotaur one.
Hey,
Oh, that one.
He asked me why did I die? I mean, what am I supposed to say?
My favorite Rise death is the one where he was like getting lab boosted, and he was just capped. This was when lab was new, and he was kept dashing through the things that damage you when you use a movement skill, and so he dashed through all of them almost until the end. He realized, oh fuck, I'm taking damage, and dashes through all of them again and dies at the end. I was like, that was really good.
I
While
didn't know about the big circle. My favorite my death is the one nobody ever talks about because I've deleted VODs and everything, so it's totally fine. It's the one death where for once in my goddamn life I found the portal gem and I decided to equip it. And I was playing a custom Malika character, and I have my key. I used to have my key binding on D, and Shift D was OOS, but I haven't turned on my macro
Oh.
because I just
Oh.
started the day, right? And like I'm in the middle of dying. I'm like, fuck, dude, I got an OOS, and then my character goes with the portal, and I just fall over, like really slow. And I'm like trying to log out through this. I'm like, fuck, it's not working. I need to log, but it didn't click in my brain that I'm fucking casting a portal because I don't have my macro on. Yeah, and that was a bad one. But nobody saw that.
Dying in hardcore. Haha. Haha.
Okay, so and the other thing I want to get out of the way now, so for what I've been up to, I'm playing softcore now because I'm bored of the league, and this is going to go into a small rant. So I thought the beta was going to be launching like now. A few weeks ago, everyone assumed the beta would be like now. So I spoke about on the last Baeclast how I purposely just unlocked my entire atlas. I went from shaped atlas to let's unlock everything, do all the maps because the beta's going to start. And then they said the beta's in June, and I was like, fuck. So I had one of two options. I could either spend like all of my currency to fix my atlas, or reroll. And I thought, oh, it's fine. I'll just make a new hardcore account. And I was like, hang on, 4 stash tabs, no MTX. Okay, I'll play solo Self-Found. And then I'm like, I want to play Frostblades and Threshold Jewels. Or I'm going to go to softcore, fuck it. So yeah, I'm playing softcore for the end of the league. It feels good, man.
So you basically did your end of league Vaaling, but the league didn't end.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, seems legit.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
So what have you been up to, Yoji?
Absolutely nothing, but I'm moving soon, so that's what I've been up to. I've been I gotta found a flat, and I'll be moving closer to work so I can finally stream and make videos again instead of sitting on trains for 4 hours each day. That's pretty good.
Where are you moving?
To Hamburg.
Here, do these German streamer changes affect you?
I don't know.
German
They're
streamer
like really
changes.
weird. You need a license now, which costs like 1,000 euros or so if you want to stream on YouTube in Germany.
What?
They
Yeah.
made
Yeah.
that. I think the main reason is they made this so that TV channels cannot like go full online and avoid like licensing fees. So I think it mainly affects like very big YouTubers and streamers. Those might have to pay license fees, but I don't think they care about like smaller ones up until like before you hit like maybe like 500 YouTube subs or so. I don't think they really care about that, but they could always just shut me down and force me to buy a license, which I won't.
So fucked.
That's so
Yes.
crazy.
Messed up.
The thing which was weird
Wow.
about it, it was like such a big story that I saw it on a newspaper here. And it was
Yeah.
like, they're basically, if I get it right, they're considering all online streaming the equivalent of having like a professional radio station. And you need a
Yeah.
license for
Wow.
that. So they're like, you have to have a license to live stream, which is like insane. But,
Yeah, it's because we have like very outdated like radio and television laws, broadcasting laws, and they use that to kind of like force that onto streamers and YouTubers, which sucks.
Yeah.
Well, 1,000 ain't that bad if they like looked at the media and they were like, okay, so since we're comparing this to TV, you need like 50,000. That would have been bad. But this is
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
okay, 1,000
I think
is you can get
6,000
over.
would be for like my size of a channel.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's dependent on the channel too.
I think,
Wow.
I think it kind of scales up, but I didn't really read up on it. I just like looked up basically what I would have to pay if I wanted to do this. Like,
Really?
but now I'm a
I-
pirate. I'm considered a pirate station now. Just
Yeah,
for
that's
cool.
the thing. I would freak out about that because like it's like pirating, right? You know, you download something here and there and you don't really feel too guilty about it, but you always have it at the back of your mind that something could happen. And then you hear that one time when, you know, one of your friend of a friend of a friend got raided by the police and they checked his hard drive and he has like 800,000 fucking fee now. And you're just like, okay, I'm deleting everything. That's kind of what it sounds like. Jesus, I'd be freaked out. Not good.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I'll be streaming more and YouTubing more soon because I'll have like 4 hours each day more to do stuff. So I didn't play.
We're just gonna see Yoji being dragged out. on
Yeah.
stream.
Getting
United
swatted
Airlines
this time for
style.
real.
Yeah.
First European swatting.
Yeah.
Jesus. Oh.
Here, Germany, we have this streamer who's broadcasting. We don't believe he has a license. Just like.
Don't do it.
That's awful though. Like, jeez.
It's really
That's so
annoying.
much money too.
Yeah. It's very prohibitive for someone starting out, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Feels
I mean,
bad.
I can see it just like make most big YouTubers and streamers who are actually affected by this would just probably leave Germany, move to like
Yeah.
Austria or like Netherlands or whatever, Denmark, Poland, like all the neighboring countries. Not that difficult.
Everyone's tracking up with Rise.
Yeah.
The Germans moving to Poland. I don't like that stuff, man.
It's like now it's the other way around. Like all the Polish people coming to Germany first. Now we're like, yep, we're out. So, see ya. Moving
Hey,
back to
Poland's good. Poland's good.
Yeah. A low cost of living, right? You're telling me you could get a Chinese food delivery for like $3 for the whole day or something?
Yeah. Easy peasy.
Insane.
I'm thinking about setting up a meetup in Poland. I think that's gonna be a lot of fun.
Thinking
'Cause
about
it's super
moving to
cheap,
Poland now.
like that's super cheap. I mean, if we were to set up a meetup, it literally wouldn't cost anything. You pay like 20 euro to get to Poland wherever you are in Europe, and you're fine.
Sounds good. Although, if we do have another meetup, can this time it not be me and Rise looking after this in the bathroom?
Yeah, we like I don't know, and we have to get lifting this time. You can't like nope out twice, right?
Rise and fucking pause kept giving me shots.
Yeah.
What? Yo, yesterday I was drinking yesterday and somebody was like, that tequila is a women's shot. And I'm like, whoa, why is tequila a women's shot? And then they explained it to me that you lick drink, and then swallow, dude. You taught me how to do
loved
that,
it.
sis.
You
That's
loved
messed
it.
up. I never
That
realized
was
that.
early in the day. Rice had never had a tequila before, so I was like,
So-
you know what?
So
He's
this
not
taught
doing it.
Rise how to lick, drink, and swallow. Oh, all right. We'll leave it at that. What has this been up to? I've not caught your stream much recently.
So I at the start of the league, I was mostly just farming Uber Zeri after the 100 race was over that I failed. So farmed Uber Zeri, made 5 mirrors, so just like pure currency. Then I've just been trying out different builds. Now I am doing Kinetic Blast with a Headhunter for the first time ever, and playing Outlast.
Is
So
it
mixing it up with
self-cast or totems?
Totem, so I don't die from Reflect.
Okay.
Keep seeing all these videos posted to Reddit of people going like, "Oh, I died. What killed me?" And it's like, "Yeah, you had on troll and you died to Reflect."
Mm-hmm. It's like off-screen reflect
Yeah.
kills you pretty easily.
I had a really bad Reflect death recently, and I'm still not entirely sure how it happened. I was doing like a Herald of Ash Prolif build, and it was like just hit hard once and the Herald would kill everything. And I'd been mapping on it fine, no problems. I'd even accidentally run a Reflect map, didn't die. And I was like, you know what, if anything's going to kill this character, it's going to be a Reflect. So I dropped my Sulfur Flask, equipped a Ruby Flask. The next map I did, 2-shot myself on a 1 Reflect rat. And I was just like, okay.
On one?
On 1.
What skill did you use?
It was Shrapnel Shot using the 2 jewels with point blank. So it was like just like 1 massive hit, and then the Prolif would kill everything. I could like 1-shot every single like rare up to like tier 14 or something.
Including yourself, apparently.
Yeah, I think what got me was it was Soul Conduit, you know, the one which like resummons itself.
Yeah.
So I think I like just happened to have like it too close, and my Slayer Leech didn't kick in, and I just sort of fell over, and I was like,
Didn't you kill yourself to Reflect like 4 times this league?
No, I've had 2. They've both been on Slayers.
Okay.
The first one was like, oh, I do no damage. I think I'll be okay. And I literally got the map with like, yeah, I think I can do Reflect. And I was playing Cyclone. Went through the first pack, no worries. Saw Horrendous. World in, died for the world's end. I was like, okay, it's fine. So,
Wait, and this is the 3rd one. You also died an explosive arrow. I've seen that.
That wasn't Reflect.
Yeah, it was.
Was it?
Oh my god.
I remember
You
that.
should Google Reflect, bro. You might have died to it a lot more than you think. In lab? You killed yourself in lab, no? To like a big skelly motherfucker.
No. Not this week.
Okay.
Not this league.
No, I've played
You
2.
guys talk.
I've played 2 explosive arrow characters this league. The first one, someone said, "Oh, do you want a quick Uber rush?" And I say, "What gateway you want?" He says, "I can do EU gateway." I'm like, "All right, okay, cool." He does his key. He doesn't tell me he's on US gateway, and I like died to a trap. And I was like 500 ping. I was like, "Oh, whatever." So I made another one, and the other one died. I was trying to do Vaal Temple, and I died to the boss.
Oh, you're right. It's the shrapnel character that you kill yourself.
Yeah, the one I literally just told the story about. That one, right?
Yeah. I also
okay.
thought that was the EA one as well.
I thought
Yeah.
it was EA. Yeah. Okay.
So what have you been up to, Rise, except for just watching my vids and not paying any attention?
Hey, I've been doing some racing stuff, you know. We have a nice racing community now. Some Noogie, some Havoc, you know. Al Kaiser, the master racer, started it all. Now everybody's super hyped about racing. I don't know. A lot of the old schoolers are coming back and doing nice record times, you know. Waggle coming out of nowhere with his first melee stuff, and he gets a world record, and nobody can beat that shit now. And it's just fun to do because everybody's just improving so fast, you know. Every day it seems like everybody's improving by a minute or something. Everybody goes to show how much mechanically adapt, I think is the word, you have to be to like get through all that stuff well. And other than that, I'm one of the people who has been doing that, but haven't been doing well. I've been like learning melee and playing different classes and everything, and that's been so much fun. But I haven't had like a really good time. I had my other world record for a little bit. That was okay. And other than that, I've been like playing. I've been playing a Slayer Bleed Earthquake Soul self-found character for about 3 weeks now. I've been Slayer, but other than that, I've mostly been Sunder and no Bleed because I have to get Vegan to level 7, and for whatever reason, because you have to get Vegan to level 7, then you can like craft the bleed and everything. And for whatever reason, I just never get there. And every time I die, I like reset. I fully reset everything, right? So then I
Yeah.
have to re-level my guy. And for the first time ever, he's actually like above level 6 still. I don't know. I like died to something totally random. Then I died to a disconnect. I couldn't move, man. And then I died to Gravicious. As I was TPing out of the instance, my war chief popped the Gravicious molten
Oh, I
shell
saw
and
that.
just
I
blew
saw
me
that. That
up.
was good. I liked that.
That was good. And now I'm like level 80 something, and yeah, I'm still not there. But I'm playing Gladiator. Gladiator is really cool. It just looks like such a simple class,
Yeah.
but that inconsistent bleed with the explosions really makes it quite consistent, even if you have only just the bleed from the Gladiator.
Yeah.
I haven't really had like any problems about that.
Yeah, I think
My-
it's one of those ones where it's like it just looks boring. Like
Yeah.
I've spent entire leagues going, oh, I really want to make a gladiator, and then every time you try and come up with some cool idea, you look at it, it just seems like so dull that you just kind of like move ahead of it. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Zuz?
Yeah, no, like my favorite thing about all the racing things is like obviously Rise has been unfortunate against Piety, and Noodle was visiting, and we were like out walking, and I opened Reddit, and it was like Rise died to Piety, and I'm like, here, Noodle, Rise died to Piety, and she's like, again?
I died to a lot of pieties. To me, it's the funniest part is people are like, when is he going to die to all the pieties in the game? It's like, motherfuckers, I've died to every single piety in the game like 100 times now. Like, seriously, crematorium piety can't kill you? I've died to that bitch like 50 times. Like, no joke. I don't know. You just kind of, like, when you're doing racing, you just kind of fall over,
Yeah.
you know?
If it makes you feel better, a few leagues ago, I had the when Tarke and Zai to Piety meme. I was trying to make a Wriggled's Curse build work. And you know when you get
yeah.
that to that point at the end of a league, you're really cocky and you're like leveling with Taste of Hate and stuff.
Yeah.
I was rocking around with like Wriggled's Curse, Taste of Hate, and all this random shit at like level 40 or 50. And I didn't check my lightning res going into the thing, and I face tanked a lightning warp and died and like ripped like 6 exalts at like Cruel Party, and I was just like, whoops. Whoops.
Oh my god. I played the Grand Spectrum Shield Charge build like way back. And back
Oh,
then
yeah.
Grand Spectrums were like 5x each. I had like 13 in my inventory. I was level 60 something. And I ran up to Vaal for the first time. I had like 6.5k yes, and he just slam critted me and
Yeah.
I instantly died.
I remember that. I remember that. That was really good.
Whoops.
What have you been up to, CuteDog?
So I played Vaal Fireball on 2 characters to 100. It was
Yeah.
pretty fun. And then recently I've been playing some Fire Nova mines. It was really bad. There were too many buttons for me. You gotta drop the mine. You gotta detonate the first one for the bonus. You gotta like there's a detonate button, and there's like you gotta cast Orb of Storms. I have like shield. Oh man, too many buttons. And I like so I didn't really like that. And then I think I'm getting like a little bit burnt out on the league because you know how like when I don't know if you guys do this, but when I get bored of the game, I just constantly respec into new classes like every day.
Yep.
And it's like I'm just chasing that next like good feeling build, right?
Mhm.
And it just didn't come. So I was like, oh man. So now I'm just making like I'm leveling another Templar, transferred all my stuff back to my main account because like when I got banned, I had to like transfer everything over. And I'm gonna merge the MTXs because on my new account, like some nice MTXs I'm very looking forward to using on my main account. And maybe I'll play some other games soon. Maybe some Lego Star Wars. Maybe some. No, another Outlast. Too spooky.
I like how
scary.
you think the nice build feeling is ever going to come back after you've played Vaal Fireball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It's
literally
true.
ruined the
speed
game
is
for
like-
yourself.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
what
bad.
fixed that for me was doing hardcore solo stuff on. Well, like that was just when everyone. I think it was you were the one arranging that, right? Actually, right? Yeah. I tried like Bladeful Totems, and it was so fucking painfully slow that I was able to appreciate other builds after that.
It took me a really long time. Vaal Molten Shell legitimately like ruined the game for me for such a long period
Yeah.
of time. I went from Vaal Molten Shell into like a league of just Flicker Strike, and even that was like, this is so slow. And it's just when you
Really?
when you play those builds and it's all you play, It's like I will now just spend 2 leagues of playing bow builds. You know. But, yeah.
For me, it actually was just Flame Blast that already kind of made it problematic for me to play like wonky builds again, because it was just so powerful for like one-shotting all bosses and stuff. That already was like, I can't really play Freezing Pulse now or whatever, but before the Threshold Jewels and stuff came out, I was like, because it doesn't feel good, doesn't proliferate, annoying.
Yeah.
New skill gems coming though, right? In 3.0, maybe
Hopefully.
they'll be juicy.
Fire Dash.
Fire
Yeah.
dash.
I'm really hoping they're not just like really lame auras. I think that could be the worst thing they could do if it was just like some like Vitality 2.0, and you're like, oh, brilliant.
I think what I want the most is either Glacial Cascade being reworked or something, but I want some spell with the new water effect. Like, it looks really cool. I don't know if you saw that they added the crab from Moana to the game as well, shiny.
Ooh, that's like one of my favorite movies.
Yeah. So, and the water effects there were really cool. So I really want them to make like a spell with that, or like a water gun, water pistol. Yeah.
Water pistol. We Pokemon now. Shit.
What a gun.
Okay, no. Next level, because I want new bow skills. It's a like magic water bolt. It splashes on the target, then automatically forks and chains, and it's like this massive like splash. That'd look awesome. But they won't make any more bow skills, so it won't
Ice
happen.
shot, basically.
Ice
Water
shot,
shot.
but with
Ice
like
shot with that Rigbol's quill. I see.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
still salty about that rip.
By the way, something I'm curious about. You played 2 Vaal Fireballs to 100, right? It's like Inquisitor
Yeah.
versus Elementalist.
Yeah.
So what's the verdict? What's better?
I think it's all personal preference. Like Inquisitor, you can go both. There's rarely any difference when you have like the really good gear, but I feel like the pro lift wasn't really needed on Elementalist unless you were running like double beyond all the time, which I was, and that was kind of nice. But the Inquisitor, you get to like cast your fireball more because you have like the Legacy Chill. I guess like maybe not everyone will have Legacy Chill, but you get to press that juicy Vaal fireball button a lot more, and it was like a little bit faster. So overall, it was the same thing. It felt exactly the same to me.
Does
But,
one
yeah.
like get off the ground faster than the other? Or...
I've.
Elements is probably like I'd say cheaper to get started, but once again, I wasn't really playing it so because what happened is like I played Inquisitor first, right? And I took it to 100, and I was like, this is amazing. It like the pseudo AOE from like Herald of Ice. You get once again press that Vaal fireball button so many times, and then Joshi and Baked were like, Inquisitor is garbage. They're like, it's complete garbage. I was like, wait, what? No, it's not. It's amazing. And then like I was like telling everyone that Inquisitor was better, but I hadn't played the Elementus. I just like theory crafted in my head. I was like, I didn't die to reflect on the Inquisitor ever. So the one time, well, I did die one time because I was watching a girl streamer, and Baked was like, hey, look, if you look in the mirror, you can like see her backside or whatever. So I like leaned in real close to the screen, and I was like looking for it, and then like a bandit came out of nowhere and like one shot me. I was like,
That was a good PK though.
Well,
yeah, that was pretty good PK.
I've played both quite a lot too, and I think what I prefer about Elementless is like if you're playing with other people, that's the go-to class for killing your friends. Because if you're playing Inquisitor, you're shattering everything. So say I'm playing with Rice and we're going really fast, I cannot kill him with Inquisitor. But with Elementless, I can find like 20 porcupines, boom.
Well, it's
Yeah.
not just that; it's also
never
the
go
pro
fast.
lifts hiding the bearers. I've got someone I map with a lot, and he hated whenever I played Prolift Lords, because I played a lot of Prolift this league. He kept thinking that it was safe, and he's like walking into bearers. I'm like, dude, move, like, bro.
Nice.
I need to play hardcore again. Kind of miss out
Same.
right now.
Yeah.
I played hardcore once. I didn't die. I played with Ziz
Was that when
Yeah,
you were trying out the
I
saw
Xbox
that.
controller thing?
Right?
Or
on the controller. Yeah.
no?
Never died on hardcore. Feels good.
We should do that again. That was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty fun.
So you're both going to be playing hardcore beta on controllers, yeah?
I'm gonna be playing hardcore beta. Yeah.
I don't understand that. So, like, when the Awakening beta happened, I played that on hardcore, and it was great until I wanted to buy something, and then I was like, wait, I'm the only guy on hardcore? Oh. But the thing which is really dumb, though, so I was playing, like, some crit split arrow build, and I had a Lionized Glare drop. And back then, Lionized Glare was, like, a big deal. But what I did, which was really retarded, I'd been away from the game such a long time, when I realized, oh god, I'm the only dude on hardcore, I need to remake on softcore, I made a new character. I didn't rip that one. And it wasn't until I was telling that story on Stream the other day, people said, why didn't you just rip your character? You would have kept the lion eyes. I was like, that's a really good idea. I should have done that. So, yeah.
That's what I was going to say, because if I die, people are like, well, what if you die during progression and get left behind? And I'm like, just fucking continue on softcore.
The annoying thing about that is you then need to, like, rip your stash over and everything. And...
Oh, boo.
I know. It's annoying. Like,
I mean, you only need to rip over like the stuff you actually need, like
Yeah.
some map pool starter and good
Yeah.
currency and maybe like your most valuable
Yeah,
items. You don't need like all the crap rares.
Yeah, exactly. I haven't tried a beta before, but people, I think it was Rice, was telling me that the mobs before Duresso was apparently just
Yeah.
like, oh, goodbye, you're dead now.
Yeah.
So if there is something like that in the beta, yeah, sure, I'll continue on softcore. But
that's fair. That's fair.
She was so funny too, like the puncture and the fireball from those guys at first. Like you would just walk into the room and instantly die. Like you couldn't do anything, and it was like that for 2 weeks or something. Like what the fuck are you supposed to do?
something like that I can see happening in the beta now would be like something being fucked up with bleed effects or something. So bleed touches you and you like vape press, it deletes
Yeah.
the character.
Instead of it's like it does 10 times damage when you stand
Yeah.
still or something. It just
Yeah, something like that.
Well, let's swap the order of things. So if we talk about the beta now, then, but yeah, because they've said that on the, and I'm now going to ruin this, on the DoT manifesto, they say that they're going to like double the standing still damage of bleeds, but it won't be applied to monsters. There's going to be like one monster which has that on the beta. It's just going to kill everyone. It's going to be brilliant.
It's gonna be the exile, the Athena Moga, because he's done coded as a player or something.
Yeah.
It's just like random
Oh,
mob
yeah.
comes up, instantly kills you.
There's always some bug that like lasts until for like maybe weeks or months. Like what was it this league? Was it the bodyguard thing or was that last league?
No, that's last thing.
Yeah.
It was last
That-
I mean,
it
the
was the
duping
fleet
lasted
bug.
long. The duping lasted like 3 weeks.
You mean the trailer thing?
Oh yeah.
I mean, the league
The
stone
league
thing.
stone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Blade Vortex lasted like forever.
I
where you
do wish. Yeah.
could 9, 10
sorry.
link it.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't actually know about that.
It was all over Reddit. Like, a lot of the stuff is. The thing which annoys me about, though, is, like, one thing will be put on Reddit, and then people talk about it. If you ever mention it, like, 3 or 4 weeks later, it's like, Tarke, why you mention this? Everybody knows, man. And it's just like, for fuck's sake. Like, have you
I don't
guys
think
done
that's
the
really
Vorici thing? With the easy coloring?
Yeah, I love that.
I do that,
Oh my
like,
God.
I do that, like, every stream. And people are like, what's this? I'm like, oh, it's Sweet Chicken. I'm like, oh, Tarke's talking about this thing. We know, man. And I'm like, for fuck's sake.
What are you talking about?
I
don't.
bring up that every time I
Wait,
do.
what is it? What is it? What?
Okay,
You-
so
I-
basically what you can do is, let's say you are playing, I don't know, a CI build, right? Let's just pretend.
Mhm.
And you want, like, a 3 red cast and damage taken set up in your boots. So you can go to Vorici and say, like, 2 sockets, 2 red. When you then roll a 3 socket, if it doesn't roll a red, you go back to 2. The 2 reds will stay, and you just keep re-rolling the 3rd socket until it hits the red color. Then you go to 4, and you get the blue. And you can do that on any piece, and it's just like really easy off colors. And it's like a tenth
That's
of the
super
price.
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But apparently
And-
everyone knows, but I have not heard about that.
Yeah, I haven't used Chromes for anything except 6 links this league.
Dude, that's the thing. That's the most fucking annoying thing about this because once people find out something like this, it's so cool. They go like they tell you every time.
Yeah.
I was trying to like get 1 off color or 2, 3 off colors on my chest piece, 6 length, and they're like, "Why don't you use the Vorici method?" It's this guy new, like he doesn't even Vorici his
Yeah.
6 link chest piece. I'm like, you motherfucker, you idiot! Like I can't. This doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Maybe
I
they're
know.
trying to. Maybe they tried to bait you in breaking the.
No. It's people genuinely trying to use it for like everything in
Yeah.
the game now. Oh.
Yeah. But I think that's something that's like not really a bug. I think that's maybe intended, but I think it's really
Helpful
cool and I'm glad we're using it.
Do you think
But-
they'll change it? Or do you think they'll
No.
keep it?
No.
Probably not.
Keep it.
Because
It
for like
sounds
the
like
more socket
average
stuff,
use.
it costs a lot, right?
Yeah.
You gotta go going from like 5, 6, or 4, 5 over and over again.
I don't know. I think it's kind of broken. Like, I really like it. So I used to have this a lot back when I played Life cough cough. But like, anyone who ever plays like insert poison life based assassin here, if you're wearing mostly evasion gear, you need like wither totem setups. You need like curse on hits. You need loads of blues. And just being able to instantly get like 2 or 3 blue off color completely changes the way you approach those builds. It's
Yeah,
huge.
but it's
but-
cool.
Right,
I think
but
it's
if
really
it gets used too much, it's going to balance itself out in the economy where jewelers are going to go up in price anyway.
Yep.
Yeah, I guess.
exactly.
And
It's
from-
always better
it's
to
gonna drop.
give players more tools for stuff like this. I mean, really, how many builds are there where it's like, I need 6 off colors on a Vol Regalia or something like
Oh,
that?
the
and
what I'm
people don't
playing
play
right
those
now.
builds.
Frostblades is 4 red, 2 green.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
wow.
this gives you, normally without this method, you'd be like, okay, I'm just not gonna play this, but now you can
Yeah.
actually still play it. So it's pretty cool.
It definitely makes
Yeah.
it like a lot less annoying for insanity gloves
Yeah.
that need 2 red, 2 green for like the faster attacks, culling strike, shield charge, fortify. Because like before it was like, oh god, here we go, 100 chromes each time, and now it's like, once you get the first few, it's like, yes, I got it.
Yeah, it's definitely something I hope they keep. When we were like CuteDog was mentioning about bugs in like Breach, though, I sort of wish they had a slightly different approach to things like that, where they would take it off faster, then see if they can fix it, and then put it back in. If you remember, the allies cannot die in Breach, which eventually did get removed anyway. They kept it in for a very long time. Like both me and Dan died to it, and then they removed it after like 2 weeks.
They're so stubborn about this mechanic. Can somebody explain to me what's good about that mechanic? Like, it lags like a motherfucker. It doesn't have any difficulty. It hardcore counters like auto-targeting builds.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why it's still in the game.
But it really
Like,
fucks
just
over
for
minions as
performance
well.
sake, remove it.
Yeah.
Like,
It is weird, especially with how much they're pushing. When you look at summoners, like you will only have 10 of these, you'll only have 20 of these. It's odd to me that they won't make that change, and it really is frustrating. It's that I noticed it a lot on my ED character because I went for the 50% pierce chance, and I was like, oh, you need 100% for this. I'm like, please, no. Let me walk around it a little bit.
Yeah.
No. I was playing
That's the only
Arc
reason
Mines, and it's
I
just like,
get
well,
pierced on ED. It's the only
Yeah.
reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
And another thing as well that I'm very surprised about is probably burning ground. Like, I get that it's a hard
Oh,
thing to fix, but until it's
Yeah,
good,
just remove
especially
it.
penalizes people on bad computers. Like, even
Yeah.
I have a fucking great rig, and I don't roll burning ground maps. That's not a good feature to have in a game.
Yeah.
And it buffs
So
my
bad.
build actually. I made a self-ignite build. It actually gets stats from standing on it. I still overroll it because it just
Too
lags.
lagging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like,
No, the best is
that's
when
been
they
better for me.
when they added the crematorium trial, and it's like you just enter crem and your computer's like, boom.
Yeah,
It just
and don't get me
melts
wrong.
around
Like,
you.
the 2 last patches have been insane for performance increases. Where I've gone like, holy shit, this is so much better. It's literally only burning ground I'm complaining about. Like, performance, at least for me, has been ridiculous. Where I've gone from like 40 FPS to like 120, 140, and everything feels smooth.
I'm
So
still
I
getting a
love
lot
all
of
the
crashes.
performance increases.
Yeah.
It's just I don't understand why burning ground and chill ground and any ground effect. I don't understand why they're in the game. If you're hardcore players or even like people on talking about people on good computers are going, oh, here's a perfect map, but it has burning ground on it, so I'm gonna reroll it solely for that reason. That's a problem.
Yeah, I think the thing is that technical difficulty should not be a reason to like why you reroll your maps. Like it should be, I can't run this because it has too many damage mods and I'm scared to die, or I don't want to run this because I don't want to get slowed by temp chains, or I can't run it because LA reflect or whatever. But it shouldn't be, I can't run this because my PC says no.
Yeah,
and
but
I have a good PC, like a really good PC, and still says no. I don't think that should be a reason ever.
It's like okay, right? But for a little bit, that's okay for like, this doesn't work for 2 weeks. That's all right.
Yeah.
We can. But it's been like fucking 4 years.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Come on.
Well,
The thing which
engine's
is
bad.
really nuts about it though is it's not even like it's a particularly fun mechanic, because chilled ground is just like, okay, this is boring. Half the builds have like status immunity anyway. It's like half the builds don't even notice it. The ones which do, it's like chilled ground, okay, you just clear slower. Burning ground is just annoying for CI builds, you don't notice it for life builds. And then shocked ground half the time is like bugged and doesn't show up correctly. You randomly die because you thought you were safe, but you were shocked anyway. And it's just like, I don't know. I've never understood the inclusion of that as a mechanic. Like,
See, back to what Yoji was saying about the technical difficulty shouldn't be a problem, because one of the deaths you showed earlier of mine was sort of technical difficulties, but I thought it would be a problem as well. And I sort of don't think that's something they can really change. It was like the 80% beyond stone and double beyond in a fully sextant courtyard. I sort of knew going into it that this is a bad idea. And like I basically had 2 FPS because there was like 6 beyond bosses on the screen, and then I ended up dying.
Yeah.
So
But that's
very
fun
different.
though. That's an example of fun, and you're being rewarded for it. Like
Yeah.
this is laggy, but the map returns and the XP is amazing, so you go for it anyway. Same with like
Yeah.
stacking stuff with Breach. It's like it's laggy, but it's fun. You don't go, oh, Burning Ground, sick. Like I can't wait to do this fucking Burning Ground, man. It's gonna be so PogChamp. It's like no, but yeah.
The worst part about it is like you have these nice rigs, right? Because you're streamers. And then so you boot up some AAA games, everything's on high, shadows, like all these effects. You're like, oh, it runs so smooth. And you get into PoE and you're like looking at PoE, you're like, okay, so it's like a top-down game. And then like you go into like a map and it's like area contains patches of reduced FPS. You're like, what? Why? Why is this happening?
You look at the requirements for the game. It's like requires Pentium 2 or something. It's like, what do you
Yeah, you're like, come on. I mean, we can't blame them too much. Like, I don't know anything about game development. I don't know anything about coding, that kind of stuff. But maybe it's just because they started this game in a garage, right, with like a box of scraps.
No, but
So
that's fine, right? Like we've all accepted that. It's just if it doesn't work, just remove it.
yeah, that's,
I agree.
I think that's the
just
only
turn it
problem.
off. Just turn it off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Turn it
little
off until
slider,
they fix it and then put it
particle
back
slider.
Yeah, because
Like,
like,
what-
I
what is
get it. There's so many pixels and polygons in those like little fire traps and stuff like that. It is hard to actually have in a game. That's the problem. It's hard. Fix it later. Not while
But
we
like
have to
that's
suffer
the
it.
thing too. Like, what is it going to change? Imagine if one day that they like desync, right? Desync got fixed. Everybody was hallelujah. Everybody loved that shit. Now they fix Burning Ground. Who's gonna be like, yes,
Me.
fucking yes, that's
Me.
my favorite mod. I love that shit, dude. I love PoE. Like nobody.
gonna save so
nobody
many
gives a
chaos ults.
shit.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
No, I disagree with that. So that reaction you
No,
were
like,
faking is
okay,
exactly what
it's
would
one of
happen.
those things-
Disagree.
You would be happy that it's fixed, but you wouldn't be like, you know, that really brought me back to this game. Not really brought me back. All those guys who quit, like Crypt, like quits Hearthstone. He's like, fucking PoE. Let's stream. Let's go.
No,
Burning
sorry,
Ground is
that's
done.
exactly that way.
Well, it's a bigger issue. It's like the performance, right? Performance is definitely one of the like the most annoying things in this game when you're playing and you're like, I have an amazing rig. The game is, you know, X number of years old. It looks like it should run on a potato, but then you can't even play certain things. That just like mentally, you're just like, oh, this feels so bad.
I would be so fucking happy if they removed Burning Ground. Like,
Yeah.
I would have
No, I
Rice's
think
reaction.
If they fixed it.
All
like,
right.
what-
Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know.
like,
I
would
don't
you-
think it's.
Would it change the game for you if they fixed
Oh
it?
no, I want them just to remove it. I would have that
Yeah,
reaction if
that's
they removed
no.
it.
If they remove it, I'd be super happy. I'm talking about in the event that they actually
Mm.
fix it
Oh.
one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, we don't disagree on this podcast. It's a circle jerk, bro. Wake up. What is this shit?
That is one
nice,
thing.
nice
which,
beta discussion, boys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was going to
Beta
bring it
discussion.
back in, Rise. I was going to bring it back in. So that's one thing which worries me about these new water effects is they look really cool, but at the same time I look at them and I'm like, oh, that's just going to make me lag. Like the second I saw the Brine Rock fight and I saw the new water effects, my first thought, everyone in chat's like, this looks crazy. I was like, no, that looks laggy as fuck. I do worry a little bit. How long do you think this beta is going to be? Because I've heard a lot of like different things on this. Like, what are you expecting?
Probably
mean-
longer than they initially announced, right?
Yeah, but I think we're gonna get to the water crab fight, and the water's gonna move inward, and we're gonna crash.
For like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You can't get past it. It just crashes. Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
maybe.
I don't really know. Like my problem right now is that I'm not really playing PoE because I don't know when the league will end, and I don't know if it's worth starting a new character. So I'm like kind of like dabbling around with my current characters, trying to find out if it's worth doing something or not, or like what to do, or is there going to be a new league when the beta starts for me to play, or for the people who don't want to play beta, what's gonna happen? Like we have no information right now. We're just like this stuff just is not clear, and I don't like it. That's kind of my main problem, and I hope they kind of set. Soon at least give us like a date or like a rough time frame and like some plans for it. That would be nice because currently everyone's just like we're
Yeah, I
kind of
felt-
done with the league, but we don't have anything new. Hello.
I feel like that was the real misplay on GGG's part. They've been getting because basically GGG was always amazing when it comes to communicating with everybody, right? And then they got kind of really bad at that, and everybody got really mad. And now they got really good again about that. And here's this thing that they did that they've always done with racing, right? which is why it infuriates me so much. They dangle this carrot in front of you, and they're like, okay, next season, we're going to bring big changes. It's coming, it's around the corner. And then every season they would say, next season, right? And now racing's kind of dead. And here's the thing that they did with the beta. It was the same thing. It's like, in 2 weeks. Oh, midway through the league. Oh, towards, the end of the second month of the league. No, 2 weeks after this league. And now they at least that were like random posts on Reddit, right? But this was just they changed it on the website. That's it. No, didn't announce anything. Didn't talk to anybody. They changed it on the website. Some random guy noticed that it's a different date now. Like, what?
No, like I definitely want them to like take as much time as they need and delay it, but I agree with what Rice is saying. They need to be more open about the communication. They shouldn't just like ghost change it like that.
Yeah.
Like don't mind, like I don't mind even if they're like, we're like struggling with X problem. We need an extra 2 months. We're gonna create another filler league or another 1 month race league. That's fine. Take as much time as you need, but tell us.
Yeah.
Exactly. I so agree with that. Like, no, everybody would be fine. If you need 2 more months, everybody's fine. If you need half a year, everybody's fine with that. We want the best product, and you guys always release the best product. Just no carrot on a stick, please.
No, I agree with that 100%.
Like they have so many options of things they can do for like I feel like it's a little unfortunate with the beta being delayed because Legacy already was a filler league and it was a flashback. But they have so many other options with like temporary race leagues. Like for example the race league where everyone could win demis. That was super popular.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people playing that with the All-Star demis for first of each class. Garena did a really cool league, which was super popular. Even made a lot of the people who don't normally play Garena make Garena accounts, and it was like 150 quant, solo self-found, and everything flashback, so you could like drop headhunters and stuff. That was really cool. There's so many options for cool filler things they can still do.
Yeah.
Or just like, I know, give us another Dark Shrine. Like, we haven't played Dark Shrine for a while. It was broken as hell, but just like rerun it for a month with like Void or something and just go for it.
The problem with Dark
Just
Shrine...
Randomize the mods and so we don't know them again.
Yeah, but the problem with Dark Shrine and stuff like that is it puts a lot of effort on the player and the casual player. You have to obtain knowledge to play it. For example, with Breach as a mechanic, there's nothing, you don't have to understand anything about the breaches. You walk on the breach, it opens. With Dark Shrine, you have to have something open on your other screen saying, oh, if I put in this mod, if I alt-regal this mod, that is good. Like, that is a hard thing for a lot of players. That's why it was the least popular league.
I sometimes forget that nowadays PoE is not a game for people who read anymore. It used to be. But these days, it's like way more casual, right?
I even forgot about that you were like putting in items and stuff into that.
The mods mattered for like what effect will happen and stuff like this.
Oh my god, that's so cool. I enjoyed Dark Shrine a lot. I just can't remember why.
I loved it.
That's why, yeah.
Yeah,
it was my second or third favorite league.
It was super broke, but it was like really cool for like a fun short league.
I was very surprised it wasn't Void League.
Yeah, I think the next one should be like if they bring it back, that it should definitely be Void.
Well, I mean,
I saw you playing Ziz. You were running those divine things and like just dropping items everywhere all day for like 3 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Unless you just
die at like 99 that league.
Yeah.
Did you die at like 99 that league or 98? I think 98. Like doing some farming stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, because I had a crazy map with 3 damage mod, min-max, and onslaught. And then I was invulnerable in the map, so it was fine. But then I went back into loot and got one-shot by Tempest.
Yeah.
They're in a very awkward situation at the moment, though, when it comes to doing that kind of a league. Because that is a league which is very much defined by its content creators. Because it's like the top-end players find out how it works and does things. And they're in a situation where, because we don't know when beta is, if they did announce, like, oh, we're going to do flashback for a month, and then they say, oh, and the beta starts up, like, halfway through or whatever, we're in a really awkward situation. So I know, like, Yoji says, oh, he's not going to be playing the beta, but Yoji isn't streaming at the moment, right? So, like, would Dark Shrines really work if all the streamers weren't playing it? Because it's awkward. Like,
I think people are overestimating how much content there's going to be in the beta.
Yeah,
like, it's just new acts. Like, sure, it's like 4-6 hours.
It's that and all the balance changes.
10,
it's mostly
20?
the balance changes, really.
New balancing.
Yeah.
Also,
but that That's so like people really didn't play that all that much. I feel like in the beta last time, like
I
people
didn't play it.
played, but not that much. A lot of people got frustrated too last beta because there were
Yeah.
clearly things that needed to be changed, and people kept in sending reports, and GGG was like focusing on other things at the time. So
Well,
people got really frustrated and quit really fast.
how about though? Like something they could do with this filler league is they could have it a beta filler league. So we get to try out new builds, try out the new balance changes, but we also have something fun to do, like a racing scenario or something like that. That would be a
That
nice compromise.
That would make sense too, because in all the things that they're releasing, they're constantly like, we will be experimenting with this in the beta, we will be changing this in the beta. Like it seems like they're putting a lot, like it's gonna require a lot of time to really test out all these things that they're saying that they will test out in the beta. So it can't be like a 2 week thing where people just kind of play it, kind of don't. It needs to have a purpose.
See,
But then there's the
I
other.
I personally would really enjoy that, but Moors and Noogie, they spoke about this on one of their recent coffee talks. I think Noogie said it was a really good point. They almost can't do that because if any new players were to start playing PoE at that point, what do? You can't say this is the new league that everyone's playing, but this is also a beta and everything's probably going to be busted. So from a new player point of view, that's very awkward to say, oh, come play PoE, come play this new league, but all the mechanics are up in the air and in constant flux. And
Well,
that
we could do this.
Do
right?
new players care though? Like they won't really get affected by this.
People, yeah, they don't like the thing is they don't get affected as much, but they think they do, and that's why they won't play. Like if you tell
Maybe, yeah.
if you tell someone there's like a reset every like 2 or 3 weeks in the beta, like people will be like, but all my items are lost.
Yeah.
People even complain when they're like level 25 and they have to re-level because they completely respec their character. Level 25 is nothing, but they don't realize. They're like, oh, I have to lose my character, which I put so much time into. And
Yeah.
for new players, it's very different.
I mean, how do we know they don't have something planned? Maybe they obviously know that by changing the date on the website, that people are going to be like, yo, this is like just magically changed. You know, people are going to get mad about that. Maybe they have something where, like to keep newer players and to keep people who want to keep playing Legacy, they just extend the temporary league, kind of like how Reddit was suggesting. And now new players come in like, oh, I can still play and I get all the leagues of the past. And then they like wow us with like spectator enabled racing temporary league, right? Just like on top of it. So like, because most new players don't even know that there is racing leagues or have been racing leagues, right? And so they get to see that. And I think like they said 2 weeks ago that there was going to be an announcement of beta, right? Something like that. There's like an announcement of the announcement. So that should be a coming soon.
One other thing that someone did mention in chat, which is a fair, you can't really hold them to this, but it is a fair point. They did say they were planning on making a supporter pack selling the beta access. So that is, it's if you're planning around that, even if it's just like a cheap low tier, like the Breach one's like $30 to get access, you kind of don't want to give that away because that is a lot of potential revenue coming in. And that also implies that you want to do a fairly substantial beta. Because if it's like a 1 or 2 week beta, but very polished, well then you're not going to get as many people opting in. So in that sense, from a raw like businessman point of view, you kind of want like a month at least, really, if you're expecting buy-ins. So
No, that's true.
It's an awkward situation.
Yeah.
Even like a week or two of races would make so many people happy right now. The big problem with racing is that from GGG's point of view, like it's very hard to monetize something like that.
What do I? I'm like, I feel like the Ziggy D. I'll just say don't expect any racing. All right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I also don't expect any races. I'm kind of happy that I have some races to watch now. That there's the Malachi race. I wonder what will happen to it when the 10 acts come out. Will you like try to race 10 acts, or will people just cut off at Malachi? Because currently it's like, just like normal difficulty race, right?
Yeah.
But then you like depending on how long the 10 acts take, it might be a pretty long speed run to do.
I don't think so. I think it'll be like the normal 4 to 6 hours.
Well, yeah, but you kind of also props Yoji the way you skipped that topic list. Beautiful. But the thing which you need to remember, and I think this is kind of why there's been a lot of success recently, is that because it's only like a 1 to 2 hour, like if you're half decent, it's like 1 to 2 hours, kind of the average for the current normal clear. That is fairly accessible. Like anyone can kind of step into that. And if it's kind of like we're expecting the average race to be like 6 hours, that's a lot more daunting when it comes to like doing your practice runs. And I think that there's a lot to be said for getting people in when it's like, oh, it's only a couple of hours. To start off, it would be bad, so it'd be like 3 or 4. So if it takes like someone like Raiz, like 6 or 7 hours to do it, then someone who's like starting up, that's like a 10, 12-hour run, you know? So
I mean,
Hey,
they
that's
are
me.
with the new MTX system, right? Like your MTXs will be applied to your character now, so it won't be as punishing in that regard because they, like, if you run races, it's like a side thing. They can't monetize it. They can't do anything about it, except they can. If there's like observer mode, they can do the things that they do in Counter-Strike, for instance, right? Where they give away MTXs to observers. If there's an observer mode, then you can have applied MTXs at all times. So that's obviously racing draws a lot of attention, I think. If you like racing or not, there's no denying, even if it's a small community of people, that people love watching that shit. They don't necessarily love to play it, but they do love to watch it. So that's a lot of eyes on potential MTXs that somebody's using. So that alone would be great. There could be, like we talked about before, maybe a little bit of MTX betting, that sort of stuff. I think that would be pretty cool.
On the subject of MTX, something that would help monetize racing is cross league transfer MTX. Like, so you would buy a skin transfer thing similar to the way it is now, but instead of it adding onto an item, it turns it into an MTX permanently. So like, oh well, I have a Cloak of Flames, I'm gonna turn that into an MTX. Boom! I've paid 10 whatever dollars, and this is now an MTX item that I can use forever across all my characters. Then you've
that'd be nice.
That's a large part of monetizing racing. So like, boom, I've finally I've practiced Scion or Shadow for whatever for like 16 years now, and I finally beat RaizQT. I won an Altar Demigod. Boom, that's now an MTX. And like people would, I know I would pay for that, and I know several people who would.
Yeah, the actual MTX reward is the only reward from racing that ever draws any people outside of the idea of getting better, which not that many people are tempted by, is the alternate art, and they just don't do anything with it for so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, with this new system, I mean, it's a good step towards it. And I mean, even if you look at it, when is a better time to invest into racing than when you're completely changing the entire leveling process with these new acts? It's the perfect time, right?
And like Raiz was saying as well, with like so many people like don't necessarily like to race themselves, but you can see the Twitch numbers and YouTube numbers peak when you like add a new race season. So like you might not be necessarily getting like, oh, I'm racing, so I'm going to buy more stash tabs, but you're going to be attracting more people to the game, which is in one form monetizing it.
Yeah. I mean, that's how it works too in games like StarCraft, for instance. StarCraft, in the end, it ended up actually being kind of a problem, but we don't talk about that. But a lot of people never played the game. A lot of people didn't care about that, actually, like learning to be a good player. They just wanted to watch. They loved the excitement. They loved the competition, And I think Counter-Strike pushed that even further. And the MTX aspect, I think most would agree, is a big part of what's keeping esports like where it is right now. Because when that whole gambling thing happened, a lot of people kind of fucked off, once it went down a little bit. But that really drove the game. Or in Dota, where, players develop MTXs, right? Like, imagine if people could develop I think that's like a more sought out feature than like league creation, even, because not that many people care about league creation, in my opinion, anymore, because it's kind of a meme now. But if you could make your MTXs, it shouldn't be that difficult, right, to implement something like that.
Even things like dying would be like, say you get a Cloak of Flames or a Demigod Dominance, you could dye like some of it purple, some of it blue, then you can have like even more customizable gear. That's also something you can monetize. Purple dyes upper part.
When you said dying, I was like, yeah, you could have like special effects when you die.
I thought you meant on death
I'm like,
effects.
Oh, like
on death explosion, like your character just like goes like boom.
Like I see so many suggestions, and so many of them are like, yeah, they're good or they're cute, but like it also like GTD is a company. You need to think about how can things be monetized so like we benefit and they benefit. Like if they can't pay people for doing the fucking job, then it's not gonna work. Not a charity.
Yeah,
has to be both ways.
I think
one thing which people.
also shows that people are drawn to it is like the amount of attention's been on the Reddit recently with everyone posting their runs at a point in the league where most people are considering done with the league. And also, like, people always talk about how, like, Crip got them into the game. The main thing that Crip was doing back then was racing. And there was all the competitive between, like, oh, you've got the different Mumble Bros, who's competing with who. Having that drama, even when it's just a simple thing of, like, oh, who's got the current, like, Demi, who's currently the best one. Having that brings so many people in, and it makes people try racing themselves. And then if that's the difference between... Like, I'm sure there must be some people in the community right now who've started doing speedruns because they've seen all this Alkaiser stuff, they've seen Moors doing their stuff, they've seen all this stuff. So it gives you more reason to stay playing. So anything which can be done to kind of promote that, it just keeps people playing. But do you...
For me,
Oh, go on.
For me, it's more like I just watch the races because I don't really enjoy racing. And I think a lot of people just are not interested in ever racing. But I watch them. Like, I put them on my phone, actually, like the VODs. And I watch them when I'm on the train, like on the side, while I'm like doing something else. I have like I have headphones on, I have my phone, I have my ebook reader, and I like read, and I look over like what's happening, and then the rise something like, oh shit, and I was like, what's going on? And then, oh, okay. And then I go back to my ebook and read, and that's kind of like what I do. That's what I used to do with like League of Legends, for example, back in the day when like watching some League of Legends on the side on my second monitor. Now I watch PoE racing because it's more fun. And that's also what I did when like 100 race was happening. I had like eat up and Havoc next to each other, or whatever, see who dies first. And it's kind of like reinvigorated that.
Well, that's something that really surprises me with you and a couple of other streamers in particularly that might not necessarily like streaming themselves, but are like racing themselves. I'm really surprised there hasn't been anyone doing like side-by-side commentary and be like, oh my god, RaizQT just found a gold room and he's vendoring it. What is he doing? Like, there's so much room for that in PoE, like especially during race seasons when there are like 8 to 10 people streaming. You can like browse between different streams. And like, sure, we don't have a spectator mode, but we have Twitch. You just like, there's so much room for like commentating.
Yeah, I think the main issue you have with that is, like, someone should definitely do it. It's definitely a niche, but the main issue you do have is that to do that well, you kind of need to be good at racing yourself. So if it was to happen like during a race season, like the kind of people who'd be able to give like a really good commentary on that would be someone like Raiz, but Raiz would be doing the races, you know. So I feel like
hey, I'm totally up for commentary shit.
Yeah,
man.
I feel like it's
I'll
very well
retire
suited
into
to the
commentating
speedruns.
right now. If they like put
mean,
any
most-
effort into that stuff, I'm never racing again.
Like
Full-time
most of the
commentator,
people who
dude.
do stream have a big enough knowledge of the game, like where it's like not that many. Sure, you might not know like every single racing layout or stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
you won't be able to go like carve like, oh, he got layout number 3.
Yeah.
This is bad, stuff like that. Sure, but like you know enough of the game.
Oh, obviously.
Also, the thing is, like, if you keep doing commentary and all that stuff, you learn more while you watch as well. Like, I know a lot more about racing now than I did before I started watching it, because things get mentioned or you see stuff happening, you see, like, the skips that people do and stuff. So I now know those skips. I could theoretically use them, but I don't care enough to do it.
I think it's a lot slower too, right? Like, for example, I watch like some StarCraft matches. I don't know how the commentators do it, or like League of Legends, Dota. Like, Geeky, and you're like, what? I don't know what happened there. And
What, dude? Have you ever tried to comment? Like, try commentating one of the speedruns. Like when I do the commentaries on my videos,
I watch your commentary, but it's like it's slower. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm doing
it
this, and here's
feels-
why.
oh
and-
yeah.
But
I mean,
I'll say this: as someone who doesn't race, I think everyone still really enjoys watching it, even if they don't want to do it. Like I've watched your 70 in 6 hours. Is that the one? On Templar, and I watched like the whole thing. First of all, don't jerk yourself off to that later. All right. But I watched the whole thing through, and I was like, oh yeah, I can see myself doing that, and that's like part of the fun of the video games, right? You can see yourself doing the actions of like a professional a racer. But then also, you know, racing is lots of people don't participate in the actual like season or the ladder, because like when there's that psychological aspect of like a leaderboard, right? You're looking, you're like, okay, Raiz is in first, I'm in 30,000, and you're like, oh man, I'm shit. And then like you don't want to feel like you're failing, right? That's a big reason why people don't participate in the race season, because they know they're gonna like fail, like not get a reward. But whereas it's like the reason why a lot of us play fast builds, you know, like Vaal Fireball, things like that, because we want to go faster, right? And we want to like get to end game faster, I guess. So learning racing, you don't have to be like the best, but you still want to get to the end goal of what you want to do faster, and there's always going to be leveling there. So I think everyone can pick up
I mean,
some.
look
some
at
CC
look at
points.
people like Matho. I always give like Matho is a perfect example of that, right? The guy's never raced, right? He doesn't do the
Yes, he
regular
does.
race. Like he does like endless ledge.
Yeah,
He'll
but he's
do.
won quite a few demigods.
Yeah. But like he's mostly gonna do like an endless ledge. Maybe he's gonna do like a descent. Mostly races that aren't like a regular thing, right? But because he has all this mechanical skill, can just like do pretty well in these races. And to level as fast as he does, again, you just require to play the game very well. Yeah, you don't need to know like, oh, there's this one skip that's gonna save me 20 seconds. That doesn't matter. But I'm saying that you only need to do so little to level in, 8 hours instead of 20. Like
Yeah.
it requires so little effort to learn these basic things that make a huge difference. And people just don't bother.
I feel like the biggest thing is people waste time, like starting in town, considering what item to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it for
Yeah.
sure.
A lot for me, what I waste a lot of time with is that I just don't have a like exact plan what I do next. So I just
Exactly.
I just
That's what I
wing
would
it and be like, I'm like, okay, oh yeah, wait, I want to get the support gem. I get the support gem and put it in. I'm like, wait, I don't have a 3-link item. I don't have anything colored. Maybe I should pick something up. Let's check the vendor, and I run around and do random shit.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
mainly because I never made like a plan for it.
I think
Yeah,
also,
but if you have that plan, it saves a lot.
Mhm.
Saves a lot.
Also, like the last flashback they did, that was at the 2-week, and they gave the prizes to the top 25 of each ascendancy. Now they
Yeah.
have ascendancy, it's really easy to perform. Like, I've won demis, and people always rail at me for how shit I am. So if I can win demis, you guys can win demis, right? It's one of those things of, with the current ascendancy system they have, you can be like, you know what, I know I'm not the best player, I will pick like a slightly underplayed ascendancy. I know Ziggy did that with Slayer. He was like, he knew like he wasn't going to be able to compete with like Elementus or something, so he picked Slayer, and then he pushed, and then he got a demi. He was in the top like 15 or something, and he got
Dude,
a thing.
Ziggy did Necromancer and he died like 6 times and still got a demi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
So I think
can
like
do
there's
this.
definitely potential for that. How do you feel, since we have you here, Ziz, how do you feel like the whole speed running and racing, how is that different to the race to 100, like in terms of viewer base and like drive? Is it the same kind of thing, or is it just like completely
No, I
different?
mean, like viewer base is completely different. It's like the 100 race, everybody watches it. Like we started off the league and I had like 7,500 viewers. If I'm speedrunning now this late, it's like 1,000, 1,500. So it's like very, very different that way. Like I also feel like TGG should be hyping up a couple more things, like the level 100 race, like, and things like Shaper race, Azeri race, just like a notification in global. I'm shocked that that's not in.
yeah,
But-
but like how just real quick, like how big of a difference did it make when there was that race to Malachi, right? Like Weasel
Yeah.
was getting like 5,000 viewers or something.
Yeah.
And that was that was more than fucking anybody, like everybody else combined.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was Hellman too when they were like that, just saying like, hey guys, this is something to be hyped about. Boom. Like just like
Yeah.
that. Even the leveling process, it's not a 100 race. It's just a leveling. It's like a normal race. It's like
Yeah.
a regular race. And people were so excited for that shit. And you can
And-
bring these, like you can make these points in different spots. A Malachi race, a level 70 race, a level 80 race, a level 90 race, who gets to tier 10s first, who does Shaper first.
Yeah.
All these things you can do.
And it got hyped out a lot because of, for example, it was an Alienware giveaway, so that was definitely part of it. But I don't think that it needs to be like some crazy like item giveaway. It could be like they get a demigod, or they get like this time a
Ten-
unique or something. There's or like
Yeah. 10 MTX
so
points. I
many-
don't know, something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like just like anything for like the special things, and at least a global announcement. It still kills me that there's no global announcement for things like first Chayula, first Ash, first Shaper. It's just entering. It's like, okay, that's nice. Somebody enters it. Like, I want to see though. Embu has killed Shaper. Boom. Like that is a big thing that happens once per league. That's worth having at least a global message for. There used to be Azeri messages for first Azeri. Why are they gone? I don't get it.
Yeah. Makes no sense.
It's a really good opportunity for it with the new acts there, because we're going to have these new fresh bosses, and especially since they've confirmed that the last, well, it might change that, but the last 2 acts won't be in the beta. So those last 2 final end of act bosses will be fresh. So I would like to see them do something like that again, because it definitely was exciting.
Yeah.
Don't the races have to be shorter term? Because when you run into like first 80, 90, 100, stuff like that, people can like do certain things to play more, or like people can share accounts and stuff. Whereas like if someone's doing a Malachi kill or first to dry lake or whatever it is now, it's kind of like guaranteed that that person's doing it all on their own.
Yeah, but it's sort of like it's not a huge deal if you like, for example, look at the first level 100 in any ascendancy. Like, yeah, you could have cheated for that, but I didn't see anyone doing that.
Yeah,
That was just for all demi.
People say that. I remember even in the racing season, it was like it was so rarely a problem that people cheated. Like it really never happens unless it's like Kobe nowadays. Like there's just nobody else. It's Kobe and Afro, and I don't even think they cheat anymore. But I'm kind of naive about that. But it really doesn't make a difference. As Hellman said in the past, cheater's gonna cheat. I'm still gonna win. I think that's the appropriate way to approach it, and not worry about that sort of stuff.
I think also there's a weird break point where, like, if a race becomes long enough, it actually becomes more accessible. So me, for example, when I actually try, I can be a decent player. So I can perform well in the very short races or the very long ones. It's when you get to, like, the 5 or 6 hour ones where, like, each tiny bit of efficiency is very important. So, like, the difference between, like, me and Raiz doing, like, a 20-minute race, the difference is way smaller. When you stretch out to 6 hours, that's when it becomes very noticeable. But when there's, like, a 1 week or a 2 week, I know that if I pick, like, a certain ascent option, I will definitely be in the top 25. Like, again, going back to the flashback thing, I was in, like, the top 3 juggernauts at the start, ripped. And then at the end, I managed to push back into the top 15 elementalists. And that was just a case of, like, I played somewhat efficiently for, like, 2 or 3 days. When you have the races which just stretch out to, like, a week or 2, then literally, like, any half-average player, if they dedicate themselves, can get in there. And I've really hoped that they do more stuff like that. And now would be, we kind of want content, like, do a 2-week, give us demis, like, do it, man.
I don't know. I don't think it might become more accessible competition-wise, but putting in like an hour of lots of playing lots of PoE is not possible for most people, I would think. That's kind of like the problem. While the competition might not be as hard. Like if you're like a somewhat decent player, you can if you dedicate a lot of time, then it works. But dedicating a lot of time is not something many people will be able to do or willing to do for like normal, like a 1 week race.
Though. It's so stressful. Like as somebody who produces content for this, people complain about leveling takes too long. Like watch this like 20-minute video. And your leveling's gonna become like 3 times faster, and you're gonna be okay, right? People just don't want to do that sort of research, but it saves you so much time. Like you have to remember that if you really like endgame, learning how to level efficiently is the right thing to do. You've been playing PoE for like 3 years. Why don't you just do it? Like, I don't know. It's just so accessible, and like Tarke says, it's really not that difficult. I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
A dude made a pretty cool thing in chat, so if anyone who like follows the Hearthstone scene, whenever they have like big tournaments, they've started doing this thing where like you vote for who you think will win the tournament, and like if you vote for them, you get like some free packs. It'd be kind of cool if they did something like that to help like boost this thing of like watching racing. So if they ever did do race again, if they had somewhere on like the forum for like you couldn't do it for every race because you'd be giving away too many points, but for like the major ones, you might get like a free mystery box. And you could really, like, one mystery box, it won't destroy their system, and they are doing lots of, like, free mystery box giveaways stuff now. So if it was like, oh, who's going to win? And, like, well, you vote for Hellman every time Hellman races, but, like, I don't know, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah.
You kind of lost me at the Hearthstone tournament part.
Yeah.
Hearthstone Esports.
Lul.
Okay. Well, before we go off racing, so let's assume that GGG, like PvP, let's say they're completely done with it. Do you think that it can continue to grow being a purely community thing, or will it just sort of stay at this level?
I think it can, because that's what speedrunning in most games is. Community driven.
Yeah.
I think why not? Most speedrunning is community driven. So I would say, of course, it can. I don't really see why GGG would not support it, at least like with promotional stuff. If they don't have an in-game system, at least like promote it more. But I think it could survive on its own.
Yeah, I think so too, especially with our website. And it's like Yoji was saying, oh, well, how's it, or was it Yoji? But with the new Act 10 bosses and stuff, we're still going to have like Act 4 any percent, Act 5 any percent, Act 6 any percent, and like fastest of all the individual ones too. And I think it's going to, like, right now we have 12 acts. I think it's going to be faster than it currently is because it's going to be 10 now.
To start, it'll be slow, but yeah, once people get efficient at it, then yeah, it'll probably speed up quite a lot.
Ooh,
Yeah,
check
but
out like
that's
the bad layouts too, like the
Yeah.
comb and Duresso areas, like stuff like that. They probably won't make again in the future acts. So maybe be more linear.
It
Yeah.
I
also,
don't really care actually.
yeah.
Because like from like a PoE speedrunner or whatever you want to call it point of view, Act 4 is terrible. It's actually like the worst thing ever in terms of layouts. Because some layouts are like a minute and some layouts are 3 minutes. And there's skips that save you multiple minutes, you know? And they're like 1 in 10 chance, you know? Like the comb skip. Hey, you
Oh,
can
yeah.
save like 5 minutes. But it's 1 in 10 chance. You don't get it after playing for for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Tough luck. Somebody else is getting the record. Like, man, it's pretty tough.
How would you feel if, and again, this is like really not that relevant, but like if for the first like day you had like fixed seed just on layout,
No.
In a
don't-
league? Ooh,
I don't
just
like
the
it.
layout.
oh shit, I don't know.
No, it's an RNG game. That's the entire fun part of the game, is random. If we wanted a fixed
Yeah.
seed game, we'd be playing a fixed seed game, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So like in a world where they did like the first to kill the Act 10 boss, you wouldn't care if like there's some of the layouts were completely
No.
fucked. Oh.
No. It's
I think
like
it
it's
all
an RNG
evens
game.
out. I think it all evens out. Like people always complain, oh, I never found the shafts. Yeah, motherfucker, but you 6-link like 3 items and 3 fusings.
Yep.
Like it all evens out, and the same comes to racing. When it's over a long enough time, and especially when it's like an Act 10, which is
Yeah.
basically full progression, I think it gets pretty close.
Yeah, like eventually it will even out unless you're carved, and then it's like you accidentally destroy a 6-link with a fusing. You accidentally, it's just like unless you're carved, it will even out.
I dropped the Victars. Whoops, I vendor the Victars.
I actually did that the other day, and I've seen Carv vendors so many fast, like this fucking retard, man. How does he do it? And then I was just like, oh, I finally know how Carv feels. And I was just like,
You actually pulled the carve and then
Yeah.
the flask.
luckily it was just like well rolled Quicksilver, so it was kind of expensive, but it wasn't like anything that crazy. But I was just like in disbelief for 10 minutes, just like. In a weird way, I was kind of proud that I'd achieved Carv's status of retard. But
Oh
yeah.
my god.
You gotta start skinning all your flasks, then you can't sell them.
You
Okay.
can't skin diamond flasks, right?
Yeah, you can't skin diamond. Well, you can skin diamond flask with another diamond flask.
Wait, why can't you skin diamonds?
Because there's
There.
no, like
I
there's a
know.
different type of flask.
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
that's weird.
They're crit flasks. All other flasks are like health pots, mana pots, or utility.
Yeah, like if you're using a legacy Vinctar, you want to at least skin a Vinctar over it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but then the shininess is gone if you have the legacy, like the
Nope.
shiny one.
No, it keeps the
It
shiny.
Not-
goes through to the new one, yeah.
Have
Yeah.
you
Oh, that's
seen
good.
the
That's
shiny
good.
coruscating elixir? That shit looks sexy, man.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Does it actually work the other way around though? Can I like make a non-legacy one shiny with a legacy one? Or
No.
does the shininess not?
I think it has to be the base. It has to be the underlying
Got it.
thing. Has to be the legacy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
I love the new shiny stuff.
That's cool.
It really surprises me when people are like, oh, the legacy shiny comb will be worth less than the original. I'm like, no.
Wait, who says that?
A lot of people.
I
A lot
mean,
of
a lot
people
of
are
people are
saying-
stupid, so.
Oh, on the other hand, maybe like for like some elitist collector reasons,
Yeah, I'm sure.
people might be
Ah,
willing to overpay for the old ones, even though the other ones look cooler.
But there's so much fewer of the other ones. There are like a bunch of legacy combs. There are like, what, 10 legacy or like shiny combs? I'm
Yeah.
gonna want a shiny one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but like if someone like if Crip ever sold his combs, like that one would be like worth bang. But-
Just
Not
because
really.
yeah, basically, I can
Not-
guarantee you that if like Crip put his stuff on eBay, there would be one guy who's like, I will have the sweat infused frost freeze pulse marauder combs. Like people would be rubbing their hands at glee over that one. Better.
All I'm
Dog,
hearing
how-
is Crip with the banhammer right now, but yeah.
CuteDog, how much do you think Kriparian's account is worth, huh? In real life money. You would know, right?
Let's see. Fuck you, Raiz.
It's not an answer.
But I agree with that answer.
Exposed.
Yeah, I got banned too for 8 minutes.
Uh-oh.
You got banned
Yeah, 8 minutes.
again? It wasn't from the
Wait,
1,
what
2, 3, 4,
happened?
5?
Oh yeah, yeah, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had chat open because I was messaging Noodle in like a map, and this was with like Gluttony up, so I'm like perfectly safe, right? So I don't mind chatting in the map. But then I was kind of like, I clicked enter twice, and then I just hit my potions, just like 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 3, 5. And people were like, "Oh my god, fast macro!" And of course, someone posted to Reddit. Loads of people reported me, and then I got banned. And then I like sent them the clip, like because you can see in the clip that it's just a normal fucking hand, and they're like, "Oh, okay, sorry about that." And then Chris apologized.
The
Oh,
one
nice.
thing that I really liked about that was how Chris basically said in the Reddit thread, if you guys stopped wasting our fucking time. Because
Yeah.
that's the thing which
Yeah.
really annoys me, is you get people like, oh, these streamers are wasting GG. It's not the streamers, it's that one dickhead in chat who's like, report everything, report all the things. It's just like, fuck's
Yeah.
sake.
He said dozens of people. That's at least 24, right?
Yeah, man. No, there's a lot. I had this problem before, even before I was streaming. When Nemesis was happening, I was like at the top of the ladder, and the group below me actually like mass reported me because they even told me that they're gonna mass report me, and I got banned, dude. I got suspended for like 48 hours for investigation, and since it was the release of the game, obviously GGG had a lot less, people working for them back then, but they actually like didn't respond to me for 48 hours, and the guys just wanted me off the ladder. I was like,
Well,
as soon as they
48
got
hours
it, they're
will
like,
help.
yeah, of course, this was a mistake. It was just like a mass report. We just needed to run the investigation on your account. I'm like, yeah, great, thanks.
Oh
Thanks for
wow.
fixing that. Yeah, but it's a good system. I mean, you can't really complain about it because it really,
Did the
like,
mass
sure,
reporters get
there are.
punished at all? Just wondering.
What's up?
Did the people who mass report you get punished at all?
I don't think so.
No.
I did actually, I did get
mean,
like
come on.
250 or something points from GGG. I was like, well, that's okay. I
that's
was
good.
nice. I was like, I didn't even say anything. I was like, okay, thanks for unbanning me. I'll get back to racing now. And they're like, hey man, thanks for racing in our game and stuff. And they gave me like 250 points. Sorry for the trouble,
So
RMT?
what you're saying is if we got chat to report us right now, we could buy some more MTX.
Yes.
Okay.
What do they report you for, though?
With the Tarke, please.
Tarke, take off the shirt.
Taki needs some MTX. He needs it.
I mean,
most.
this was like 3 years ago or something
Yeah.
now, right? So I'm sure they've changed a lot, but it's such a good system. Because like I used to do this thing where I would go to these like botting forums and RMT forums, and it's really fun to read how like crazy delusional these people are there. Because you just go to the section where it's like the banned people, and you just fucking laugh because there's post after post after post of people like, I just got banned and I wasn't even doing anything that much, and he's like, I only bought items for like $100. I can't believe GGG banned me. My friend bought items for $300 and they didn't ban him. This is so unfair. And you're just like, oh my god, this idiot. It's
which
the best
forums?
thing
There's
ever.
There's
People
so many.
complain.
Which forums, Raiz?
People complain on RMT forums that they're getting banned. That's the best thing ever.
Well,
was-
the
That
really
was the one
surprising.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
No, it was just because he's asking what forums. It was that one. I don't think that thing is active anymore. But if you played Diablo 3, it was the demon body thing. Because I was so fucking angry because I was making money off of Diablo 3, right? It was like basically my full-time job. And I was so fucking angry at all these botters. So whenever I had a really bad day, I would go on the forums and read the ban reports. I'd be like, yeah, motherfucker.
I don't know if you guys remember, but this is like a year and a half ago, though. I remember some guy was streaming himself botting. And it was really obvious. It was like
Yeah.
Flame Totem just running around, and he was doing it for like 2 hours with like loads reporting him. I'm just surprised how he didn't get like insted.
The Russian
That's
guy?
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the Russian guy was actually playing the whole time. He trolled everybody. He was playing the whole time from a different room. He just had it on this monitor, so he had like 2 monitors, and he was
Oh,
playing
no.
from another room.
This was like no cam or anything.
Oh, then I don't know. Then I don't know
That's
about that.
hang on. Repeat that again. I need to write that down. So I'm playing on a computer in another room, right?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
basically had a
that's good.
camera enabled for that room, and he went AFK, and his character kept playing, but he just went to another room, and he was playing from another room with the camera active on his normal thing.
That's an
And
epic
people were
troll,
like,
though.
this
pretty good.
even I got super mad. I'm like, holy shit, why isn't this guy getting banned? And then
That's
it
pretty
turned out
good.
it was
That's
fine.
pretty good, yeah.
I can do the next level. So I had to fix my green screen recently. So I've got this massive off cut. What I could do is I could just like cover myself.
Now I have
And
to
then
change over to the script, right?
Just play under the green screen. It'd be fucking brilliant, yeah. But
You can also wear like a green screen shirt, and so
Yeah.
you can actually invisible on stream now.
yeah,
nowadays.
yeah, it's
nice.
brilliant. That's
Yeah,
why
that's
Harry Potter
Wow.
invisibility cloak.
Wow.
It looks. Oh no, yeah, that's like only your hands. It's awesome.
That's pretty cool.
But
When I put my green screen again in the new flat,
I
I'm
don't
totally
like a green
going
screen.
to do shenanigans.
Tarke is magic.
yeah.
That's funny.
But one thing which always reminds me, since you're talking about it, is so I play a lot of WoW, and my favorite thing ever is they will have like once every 6 months they mass span all the bodders, and you just see like your guild list, like half of your guild is gone, and you're like, and there's always that one guy just like, dude, I didn't do anything wrong. Okay, I maybe on a farmed a few battlegrounds, but I didn't do any serious bodding, and it's just like everything is gone. I'm still in
Yeah,
contact
goodbye,
with some
then,
friends
do
who
not-
are pushing, and they lost like all of their healers like 2 days ago to a ban wave, and it's like, seems good. But
I got banned and I do nothing. Yeah. Tarke, what's next?
right, okay. So DoT manifesto. Now, CuteDog has
Ooh.
spent the last week preparing. So, Cute, if you could go through what exactly does the DoT manifesto mean?
Okay. Double dipping is out. Righteous Fire is in. More stats for the dots. And it's a little real confusing. They're like adding all these like stats in here that I don't care about. First of all, you guys only know about these manifestos because you guys abuse the mechanics. All right, I play truly ethical builds that don't use these in any way, so I don't even need to read this. But in all seriousness, ailments is gone. Yes. 100% ailments is gone. And that's about it. Stream's over. Let's go. All right.
I like how I don't use these unethical double dipping mechanics. Hey, CuteDog, what do you think, Inquisitor or Elementalist is better? Well, the prolif is actually pretty good on Elementalist. I think Elementalist is better.
Guess on nothing.
Headhunter. Say nothing.
So yeah, the ethical Vaal Fireball Headhunter build.
Headhunter,
I mean,
like 20
yeah.
inspired learning seems good. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
basically
okay.
what they changed is that the initial hit does not scale the dot anymore. That's basically all they did.
Well, I wouldn't summarize it to just that, because now, like, before you could sort of explain double dipping to people, now try to explain double dipping to people. Well,
yeah.
it's sort of double dips, but really it doesn't. If you look at it at a mathematical definition, it's still double dips, but it really doesn't. But if it's an area ability, then if you walk out of it, it doesn't work. But if you stay in it, then it works. Like, what?
But
what
blight is not an area ability that big, but you
what-
can still.
Yeah, it's weird. See,
Pretty
I
bad.
I was planning on being the one to explain it, so I was like before the show running through my head, like, okay, so this is how I explain it. It's like, okay, so now let's say you have fireball, right? If you have fire damage, the fire damage will scale the fireball. The fire damage will also scale the ignite, but they won't
Yeah.
scale together. And you're like, what? So it's really awkward to explain.
It's separate. No, don't think it's actually. If you know how it was before, I think it's super easy to understand. Because
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
right now it is initial hit scales how much the ignite does,
Yeah.
and then
And
fire
then it gets
damage
scaled again.
scales
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
And the initial hit scaling also scales the ignite on top of the scaling you did before. That's double dipping. And now they just separate the two and be like, yes, you can still get one stat that scales both, but one of the stats doesn't scale the other stat anymore.
It made more sense to me than the AoE changes. That when they did the AoE changes manifesto, that was like, I read it, I watched Carve do a video on it. I then watched Pox do a video on it. I then watched 3 other things. I then streamed like, so Tarke, what do you think of the AoE change? And I'm like, well, there's this calculator you can use, and now it goes from a 4 to a... I don't fucking know, man. It's just like things are shit now.
Yeah, we're in the bad timeline.
Yeah. But so from the manifesto, do people like the changes or not? I'm very happy to see that the immunities are gone. That was like the best thing for me.
Yeah. I'm sort of on the fence. I think the beta will be. I don't think we're gonna see any sort of balance at all in the beta. I think it's going to be very one-sided. It's either going to be ridiculously bad or the new support gems are going to be ridiculously good, and we're going to see like Pox running around like with RF just like insta-shotting Shaper just by like touching the very tip of his RF, or like, oh wow, nothing does damage anymore because like RF's damage been reworked, Essence Drain's damage being reworked, something with Caustic Arrow as well.
Caustic Arrow too.
Whereas
all
like
the projectile attacks.
right now,
I think Caustic Arrow gets reworked to not be affected by the changes.
Yeah,
Caustic Arrow basically stays the same. Projectiles get damage
with
still
that,
scales.
but like Essence Drain, I would say right now is probably the most balanced heal in the game. You have to very much decide like, am I gonna go like, I don't know if you've been watching Mata lately, but he's got like that crazy like 70k dot DPS Scion, but it dies like every fucking 30 seconds, right? Because you of course getting Elixir is really risky. Or you go like the Guardian Ambush Shinra route where you're like, oh, I have like 656,000 ES, but my damage is, I have to survive the fight for a while, let's say that, right? So it's like very balanced. So I'm very worried that a skill that is so perfectly balanced and is in a good spot is going to be completely fucked by this.
I don't know. I think it gives them, like before, like we talked about, right? It was kind of, certain abilities just worked a lot better with it, and now you've got all these individual things that you can balance around to move an ability a little bit up and a little bit down. I think the awkward tagging of things with the AoE and the projectile and all that stuff is on purpose, and like they really thought that through. And now a small change can really balance it out good too. But at the same time, I'm extremely worried about the fact that there will be new nodes on the skill tree, and that's fairly simple. But a lot of the crit stuff apparently is going to be based around one keystone.
Yeah.
But you can play like bleed crit swords, which is the bottom of the skill tree. Then you can play like ignite, whatever. Then that's like top and the left side, and then you've got like chaos, which is top right.
Yeah.
So like, where the fuck do you put that thing? Like one keystone?
Yeah, it's really awkward.
You have to be silent to get it.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's unplayable.
Yeah, well, something I'm worried about is, for example, when you see all like the dot changes and all the new damage over time and the crit damage over time in particular, I was just thinking like, Assassin, holy shit, like it's already got those like 100 million% damage increase for crits, and then you have that on top of it. I'm like, this is going to be scary to balance because Assassin's the only thing that really gets that. So how are you going to balance it to the point where it's like not ridiculous for Assassin, but it's usable for like a Marauder or anything else?
I think to answer both questions that just came up, you just put the keystone at the opposite side of Shadow.
Yeah.
So it's
Problem
like
solved.
Marauder. The crit key node is in Marauder next to RT. Sounds brilliant.
It's going to be behind RT, and it's perfectly balanced then.
But no, put it behind blood. No, put it behind blood magic.
No, it has to be behind RT, so you can still like make the perfect RT crit build finally.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I have an idea. What if this only really affects bosses, right? Because for mapping, everything dies in one hit to anything, so it doesn't matter. With the new changes, there's something that's like really OP. You know how like bosses have 80%, no, Guardians and Shaper have like 80% curse resist or whatever it is. They can just tweak values on that if something gets like too crazy, right? Because a lot of people like jerk themselves off to like, oh, double dipping, it's so OP, right? But when you're mapping, like whether you're prolifing all over the place with a Vaal Fireballer, or if you're running like, let's say EK, right? A lot of people are like, why don't you go EK with poison? And it's like, well, you kill everything on the first hit with like hatred, just that one aura, and you're shattering everything with Herald of Ice. So you don't actually take advantage of like Master Herbalist or anything like that. So things like that, I think there's a big difference between like what these builds will actually be used for. I think for mapping, any build it's pretty much the same, right? You're gonna zoom through, hopefully kill everything in one hit. It's just bosses that you need to really pay attention to.
Well, but that's the thing. They're leaning more towards essentially what is diminishing returns with the changes to the status elements. That's kind of compared to the old system, kind of what they did with AoE right now is sort of a diminishing return. So if it gets really out of hand, I feel like they can just do that with bosses, and it's gonna be a good system because then you can't really go super crazy, right? But they did talk about the immunities where I don't remember. It was like bosses will still be not be immune, but now will be heavily slowed if you like would freeze it before. And
That's
that
really
also
good
seems
for
like a
poison.
very diminishing return type of balancing.
I
It's
think
better than immunity, I think. Like,
Oh
I
yeah.
think so too.
Immunity is garbage.
Anything's better.
Because that makes mapping better too, right? Because I don't know if you guys ever re-rolled 90% avoidance. It just felt bad. Like things like temp chains, it's fine because you get a headhunter, you steal haste or like 50% movement.
Rip.
Re-
Oh yeah.
Or like enfeeble, enfeeble, like you just get more damage and you're fine, right?
Oh yeah,
So-
and you're
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I love that long silence and then it goes. And then
Yeah.
you're fine.
and then you're fine.
And
Oh, wait,
that's
what happened?
exactly what I'm
Became
talking
freezing.
about.
Freezing.
Oh, I froze.
Of course.
Basically, I was just saying that lots of the map mods you can get around very easily, but 9% avoidance is just like come on, I can't do anything.
I mean,
This-
now it's gonna
oh.
be even worse, right? Because now it's gonna be everything's or is everything an ailment or nothing is an ailment? I don't even know anymore.
Everything is an ailment. But
Everything
the
is
thing
an ailment.
is I don't think they're going to remove that mod, so that mod's still going to be there. They're just removing the straight up immunities on the bosses, so it's still going to be a pain in the ass, and it's going to punish more builds.
Yeah.
It's going to punish poison and bleed and all the builds.
The thing which worries me a little bit, because they said they're adding this new keynode. They said there might be multiple, and they said it was something along the lines of maybe like, oh, maybe you do less damage on the initial, but then you get this bigger like over time. How shitty is it gonna feel if you're some like big punch bleed build, and the map has avoidance, so you hit it for nothing because you've got this keynode, and then it doesn't get the bleed. So then you hit it
but
for
that's
nothing
so
again,
rare.
and it still doesn't get the bleed. And you're like,
That's
on the
such a rare
6th
mod.
try, I'm gonna fucking get this boy with my like big daddy like you're doing like a heavy strike build for that one guy who's like, oh, I've got my double heavy strike damage, and I'm gonna walk up to the pack, and then my Herald of Ash, and just like, no.
I wonder if you can extend like 100% chance to like, for instance, if you crit, you get 100% chance, but if you get crit and one of the new chance to bleed mods, you get 120. So now when the status ailment mod is like, or the ailment mod, whatever, is now like 90% to avoid, you can like kind of fight around that, you know? The same way you can kind of overcap yourself with resistances. It wouldn't make a big difference, but people will build their characters slightly differently around that sort of stuff.
I would like if there was like a node or an item or something which meant that your shit couldn't be avoided. That would be nice. But
Oh, for sure, there's gonna be something like that.
I do worry, maybe even like a Pantheon system ability or Paragon, whatever the fuck they're calling it. That'd be perfect.
No,
for
that's
that.
offensive, dude. That no.
Oh, I don't know. But like one thing which
Power
worries
creep.
me a little bit is
It's
that
not power creep, man.
it's not power creep,
not.
it's
Relax,
defensive.
Tarke, relax.
But one thing which does worry me a little bit is like the core strength of the damage over time builds where they were meant to be like cheap boss killers. The problem was they also just killed everything like on way too much of a budget. I do worry a little bit if we end up in the situation where like they're only good at bosses sort of, but you're not going to play them anyway because you'd rather just play like insert expensive attack build here, just one tap it. I feel like there's a very fine line between it just feeling completely
I don't think
unplayable.
that's a line at all. I think the thing is that damage over time inherently has to be good at fights that have like long time scale, because if they are already not good against that, they will never be able to clear trash.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the problem. If you actually look at it, that's simply how it is.
Yeah.
Because damage over time, if time is not the problem anymore, it has to be really good, because the downside of damage over time is that it's over time.
Yeah.
I think where it fails, it's too simplistic right now. Like for instance, you just dot the target and you put wither on it. That's so simple. But if you think about games like WoW, for instance, where, if you were playing an affliction lock or something, it really took some time for you to get that damage going, right? You need to preset all these things. While in PoE, it's like, cast 2 things and that's done. And that's really where the strength of like single target dotting comes from, because there's no build up. It's just immediate, even though there should be kind of. But that's obviously hard to implement.
I mean, Poison and Viper Strike have a build-up, right? Where you like stack it up and it gets better once you have a few stacks.
Well, yeah, but like the sort of thing we're talking
Viper
about
Strike?
was like
Viper Strike with the threshold jewel that
What's
does like...
Viper Strike? Wait a minute, let me Google this shit.
I think
I don't even know how
Ziggy-
the new Viper
It's a
Strike
skill that
works.
only Ziggy uses.
I used to play so much Viper Strike back in the like old stacking days, but now it's just poison, right?
Was it like back when it scaled with levels and not with like
Yeah,
weapons?
it's scaled with levels. I love that shit, man. Everybody laughed at me. It was great.
I mean, it might be the only viable poison skill, depending on if they fuck up. They said they're going to have it so Viper Strike will be like the only skill which still scales with duration.
Yeah.
So it might actually be like the thing. It'd be hilarious if that was like the only viable poison build. But since they've mentioned that they are thinking about maybe new keystones, like what nodes would you guys like to see? Like if you had to make them up.
Wait, what was the question? Sorry.
So
Especially in the
they've
notes, they're
said
not
there's
prepared.
going to there's going to be these new damage over time keynotes, but we don't know what they are. Like what would you like to see?
Maybe like Proliv for like poison and bleed.
The wild strikes, not wild strike, wildfire thing that I talked about before, where it like splits up to things, like a locust swarm from Diablo 3.
Yeah, something
Implement
like
the keystone like that. Oh my god. Just do it.
So like your ailments chained to nearby enemies or something.
Yeah, instead of having an AoE, it chains kind of Beano's style, right?
That'd be cool.
Except that you limit like the amount of targets. So if you like cast it on 1, the mob dies, and then it jumps to 2 mobs, and then those 2 mobs jumps to 4, that sort of thing.
That'd be
Like
really
chain
cool.
elements.
Yeah, and it chains instead of having an AoE. And for instance, you can't like the downside of something like that is that you can reach like further with your ailment, but you can't scale the damage with AoE anymore or something like that.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like depending on the pack size as well, like A would be way better if there was like very heavy density. If the chain was limited, because the chain could it could keep chaining the ignite on something already ignited, right? You couldn't guarantee where it went to. But if you were playing like a split arrow build, for example, then that would be amazing because you could like shoot once off screen and then it would chain to everything behind it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that'd be really cool actually.
I'd like to
Yeah,
see
really
more area of effect modifier, less damage modifier for Keystone. So like just like a massive damage modifier, like 40% less damage, but 50% more AoE. Maybe 100%.
500% more AoE.
Oh, that would
or
be cool,
it could scale. They have like different tiers. Like the nodes behind it would be like 10% more, 8% less damage. And you can get like the little mini nodes, like kind of like blood magic behind it. And so you could do like 90% less damage, but have like 500% AoE.
That'd be cool. Wouldn't it become kind of compulsory for every build though? Eventually, like once you got to that threshold that you just one shot everything, every build would take it.
Yeah, but like getting there is like a lot of monies, right?
Oh,
That's
how about
how
this?
Proliv got out of hand, right? That it had so much AoE, and as players like didn't do enough damage, and as they got more and more damage, just got really out of hand, and you'd have been there for a long time.
How about this one, CuteDog? You have 20% less damage, 100% more AoE. You can no longer generate Vaal souls. Yeah.
Oh. I'm dying. Yeah, definitely wouldn't take that. I mean, people have suggested like great ways to change Vaal skills. And, like some of them are like pretty painful. Like you can only cast your Vaal skill while standing still. If you move at all, they like the projectiles disappear. Or like when casting Vaal skills, your movement tags are disabled. And so like you can like walk around, but you can't shield charge.
Ooh,
Nice.
what would be really cool would be a damage over time node which did more damage when you stood still. To like make Blight and Scorching Ray like more attractive and stuff. like promote build, which is like
And
proper
nobody would
face
never
tank.
play that.
Well, no, that would be no. Think about it, right? Because like if you look at like insert OP shaper farmer here, you just like face tank everything. You would take that node. You just face tank it as long as you can out leech it. You're fine.
With Scorching Ray
That's OP.
or Blight.
Well, okay, no.
How do you leech?
Let's say you're a barrage build,
What's
right?
the
Let's say
benefit of this?
let's say
though?
you're a barrage build. You just face tank barrage, and now your poison does more damage.
Yeah, so every single build that does something like that would have to take it, and every single new player who would see something like that would go, "What the fuck? I don't
Yeah,
understand."
that's fair. That's fair.
it's too much. Oh shit, Elena.
Oh, Lena's in here, guys.
I don't get how she's not like. How does that bot still work?
I
What
don't
do you
know.
mean?
It's a,
Have
it's
you
a, I
seen the
think it's a real
numbers
person.
behind? The numbers are not a joke. It's actually there's been that many.
But it's no, that would not surprise me. But like Twitch will because obviously Elena's a bot that follows you, so suddenly you'll see like lose 400 followers one day, and you're like, what?
It's all the Elena's being like,
Yeah.
Feels so good, man. You like go on your social play and it's just like minus 400. You're like, what did I do wrong? You check
Should I-
Reddit, you panic check Reddit. Oh my god, did I pull a Xeno? Like, why does everybody hate me now? It's just Elena, dude.
But to get back on topic, so you kind of talked about Ellie Prolift and stuff. Do you think they might revisit the Ellie Prolift gem with these changes? Do you think they'll like unnerf any old items or skull gems?
Mm.
don't see how it is needed. Like at least like Proliv. Proliv is fine.
Yeah, Proliv is kind of fine. I think so too.
Do you think it would be maybe nice to have more incentive to go Prolift instead of going Elementalist? I know there's already there's a 4 range difference, but
Yep.
I don't know. Oh, one thing, can you confirm this? I don't know. So I've heard some people say it works like this. So if I was playing, for example, like Explosive Arrow or a Ignite-based attack build, and I put GMP on it, will that nerf my Ignite now or not?
No. Shouldn't, because
No.
it's no longer affected by projectile damage, right? So less projectile damage will not affect it at all.
Yeah.
Wait, is it
Ooh,
no
wow.
longer affected by projectile damage?
Yes, unless it's like specifically stated in the skill. I mean, Explosive Arrow, the explosions should be affected, but the Ignite should not be.
Yeah. It won't double
I
dip
thought-
nerf your skill.
Yeah, and Caustic Arrow has the tag, like the line of projectiles damage still works. That's why it works.
You still
And also,
lose damage, but less.
That potentially is a massive buff to Burning Arrow. Feels good, man.
yep,
Oh,
but
here we go.
you know I think the less duration thing shouldn't work anymore, right?
Oh, it's a shit support gem. Like that. The one thing I find funny about I'm gonna take this moment now to say it. The less duration Burning Arrow meme only worked with pre-nerf less duration. It used to be like a 30 or a 40% more multiplier. It's now like 19. And whenever I ever mention Burning, people are like, oh, less duration. Like, no, it's shit. Like you never use it as a link now. Back then it used to be good, for the record.
Yeah, it's more the fact
And
that
even
you
more
could
now,
use
right?
it was
Yeah.
the problem.
Isn't there something with like weapon elemental damage being like attack?
Yeah, now it should
elemental
apply
damage,
to everything. And some people think that might
Yeah.
now work with Explosive Arrow and stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, should now be OP?
Well, no, it's
Yeah,
no
that
longer
works-
WED. It's now
it
like
works with SRS.
Mied or some
Medu.
shit. It's like more elemental attack damage. So Mied.
Yes. Madu? I don't know. But yeah, it's I don't know about EA though, because EA's explosions are not weapon damage, and they are not attack damage, so it
Yeah.
shouldn't work.
True,
neither.
true.
They're secondary damage. They're just fire damage.
That makes sense.
Like DD, it's kind of nothing. It's a cast.
It's just there.
Yeah.
You can't block it and stuff.
That's fair.
Interesting. I don't know. I'm excited about the summoner changes for sure when it comes to this, because if you did like old chaos golems and stuff like that for shaper killing, which is what I did, it only used 2 double dipping gems, which was conk effect and minion damage, I suppose.
Oh,
So it's pretty cool now because I think the values are doubled on poison now. Yeah, that it's gonna
Yeah,
deal
yeah.
double the damage, something like that. So really, from what I'm understanding, it wasn't nerfed. So that's very cool that they're
It's only
remembering
just like
things
1,000% nerf. That's not much, right?
No, I was just well, I
Take
guess
a
it
bit off
depends
the
on the
top.
initial value. Like, I guess it really depends on the initial value. Who knows? Maybe they're
Yeah.
gonna make it like 5%, and then it's like, well, It works as a mechanic, but they're never going to balance this out. So whatever.
One
I
thing.
really hope they don't just leave it there and like sometimes GGG rebalance something and then they just like leave it in a weird shit state. I really hope they revisit AoE next patch, by the way, because the current state of AoE I don't really like.
Well, the thing for me is in games like this, I'm like I like balancing to some degree, but in other areas, I don't necessarily feel like everything has to be balanced. There's always going to be something that's ahead of some things. So it's sort of like a decent way to change the meta by like, right, okay, we've balanced this. It's fucking trash now. No one's going to play it. But this is really good. So it's going to change the entire meta run and everyone's going to be playing that for a bit. So I think that's sort of a good way to revitalize the game for a lot of people where like they get forced out of their favorite build maybe and they might discover something else. So it's sort of a nice thing sometimes.
Yeah, I think that's not the problem though. I think the problem is that currently, for example, a lot of like AoE skills that used to feel like alright, and I don't mean like the good ones. I'm talking about like lacerate, for example, feels horrible now because the AoE just got shit on. Every melee splash thing feels worse this patch because it actually got
melee, right? Like for me,
Flame
it's melee.
Flame Blast doesn't really feel that good anymore. I played Flame Blast this league. I really disliked it. I switched to Fireball because Flame Blast didn't feel so good.
Flame Blast totems still a lot.
Yeah,
you just don't use
Selfcast. No.
Oh.
Selfcast. No. Okay.
Selfcast feels like shit because it's just like so small. You have to like really aim at all the mobs. Before it was just like you could just get like a 3-stack.
Yeah.
With, like, now you have to get like more stacks for it to feel good, and then it's slower. Before you could just like 3-stack normal packs, right?
Yeah, you do really want a girthy Flame Blast.
Do you think it's because you remember how it worked before? Because for instance, I've never played Earthquake and now I'm playing Earthquake and everybody's like, fucking Earthquake is so bad now, fucking feels terrible. And I'm playing Earthquake, I'm having so much fun. I'm like, this feels amazing because I've never played it before.
That's the same concept as playing Vaal Fireball and then every other skill's going to feel shit though. If you've never played Vaal Fireball, you're going to be enjoying like really so skills.
I never played like Lacerate, like really played it, but it now feels like an end game. It feels worse than it used for leveling. And that's shit.
Weird problem there. No, I'm just saying that people say that it feels really bad and they won't ever play it and they ruined Earthquake. And to me, it's quite playable and yeah, I'm having a lot of fun because I've never had that experience of playing it before.
Before it was screen wide, and now you have to like you can get like a I don't know what ice crash or whatever it normally is, like the normal like around your character size. Before it was just like screen wide. I think that's reasonable still, but yeah.
I think the most surprising thing to me is that I played Legacy Vaal Molten Shell a lot, and I'm playing Vaal Molten Shell now, and it's actually really enjoyable. I thought I was, especially after the area changes, I thought I was going to be like, well, this is fucking shit, but it's really fun. I'm actually getting up to 1.8 billion XP per hour at 91, so still fairly good, and it did take some fucking heavy hits.
I mean, Vaal Molten Shell has an AoE of like 0 though, right? So like 100% of 0, 100% less of 0 is still 0.
I mean, no, it's noticeable on the AoE changes.
I mean,
how are you getting your?
I saw you playing
using Hail Device?
And it looked pretty trash to me. I don't know, like in comparison. No, comparison to where it used to be, because I played Vaal Molten Shell before. So when people said that, oh, Ziz is playing it, like, what do you think? Because people knew that I played it to like 94 or something a few leagues ago. I was like, oh, and I was watching it. It looked completely fucking awful in comparison to how it used to be. It has the new animation that feels cool, but.
Well, with all the new things that have been added, like opal rings, and you have like way more fire damage things, you're easier able to like get some more damage now. I think the only thing that actually feels really bad about current Vaal Molten Shell is the duration.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like you have to play at a certain pace or you're just going to be flame blasting a little more. So, like, if I was going to change Vaal Molten Shell, I'd probably like rebalance the duration a little bit. Because it's so hard to get enough.
1.8k, 1.8 bill running what? Like Chayula's?
No, Strand.
1.8 bill running Strand with Vaal Molten Shell.
Yeah, 60% beyond Leakstone, beyond fully Sextant, dude. Just run through. It was fucking great.
But
like, you get like what, like 40 beyond bosses in one map, and they die to the ignite.
Jesus Christ.
The new Beyond is crazy.
How much do you get with like Vaal Firebolt then? What the fuck? If you clear a strand in 30 seconds?
Probably like 2.5, 3 bill.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, this is at lower level. The 99 strand is like 50 mil with Double Beyond, and then Pools is like 40 mil with Double Beyond.
I think everything back about Earthquake feeling good. I was getting like 100 mil. I'm like, fuck you, I'm fucking popping off, dog.
Because of the new Beyond, though. The new Beyond is ridiculous. To the
Well,
point where I
yeah.
emailed GTD being like, you guys should maybe look into this. I got, in one courtyard, I got over 70 Beyond bosses. I mean, come on.
Wait, you emailed Gigi to nerf Beyond?
Yeah, I mean, I love fun as much as the next guy, but there's a point where it's like, this is ridiculous. This is going to make the rest of the game feel fucking terrible for me.
So, on that topic, how do you feel like they should handle like Breach and Beyond going
Traitor!
forward? Like, since we don't know if we're going to be keeping Breach and Beyond, since we've got you here, like, how would you personally handle it?
Traitor!
Get him,
Dude,
boys.
this
Get
is
it.
the reason. This is the
Flip
reason
it.
Zana doesn't give double Beyond anymore.
No,
Wow, thanks a lot.
it is too
Fucking
good.
ruined the
It's
game for
literally
me.
too good.
This
This
guy's
is
a
literally the
snitch.
It's
reason why
gonna
they
ruin the game
quit.
completely for the rest of us. Oh god.
No
I'm
wonder
really
it's
glad
like
that this person is not a permanent host of this podcast.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we would have to
600
remove
followers.
him.
I'm just glad I'm not this person. Excuse me.
Yeah.
We got the new Voldemort.
He who shall not be named.
Avada Kedavra. No, seriously though, like the current Beyond is ridiculous. 70 Beyond bosses in one map is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Oh god.
You're ruined now. Like, seriously, this stream is going to end and you've, like, ripped your entire viewer base.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
you know how like some people like accidentally get naked on cam or like, you know, like eat something from their nose on cam? Like I just did that. Just said Beyond should get a nerf and
Dude,
rip
we
a
could
stream
all
career.
just like go ham right now and nobody would care.
Yeah.
It's just like, how dare you kill this game?
But yeah, okay, so to give you an out of the situations, how would you handle Beyond and Breach going forward? Ziz?
Well, no, I think the Beyond in Breach thing is okay. Like I don't know if you remember, but early on in Breach, the Beyond spawns were crazy. If you had that still, you'd probably be looking at like 200 to 300 Beyond bosses per map with Breach in it. So that would be ridiculous. I'm glad they fixed that because that would like be unplayable for most people. I like the whole risk reward thing from Beyond. It's just like it spawns too much. It wasn't like all double Beyond was fine, where you like got what like between 10 to 20 Beyond bosses in like a nice map. Like now it's like 70 to 100 plus. It's a little too far. Like when
Wait,
I
is it
got
different? I don't even know. Is it different from the old one or is it just sextants and like
it's because of the cold stone where it's like every mob has a 40, 60 or 80% chance to
okay.
create another portal. That
You can't always
includes
have that though. That thing's like what 30, 40 chaos, and the 80% one is like close to an exalt. So you're not
Okay,
gonna be
right.
always running those.
I didn't know they'd gone up that much. Like I bought a bunch for like 2 to 4 chaos.
Wait till
What?
after the podcast. They should go up even more.
You bought the the call for 2 to 4 chaos.
Yeah, they were all listed for like 2 to
What?
4C. This was like
maybe on
weeks
hardcore it's
ago.
different, you know.
Yeah, hardcore versus
Oh,
softcore.
I'm not saying
Oh,
they
yeah.
are
Oh,
that now.
sorry, this plays hardcore.
Yeah, might be because it's actually dangerous to run those at some point.
Yeah, no, it is
Mhm.
rippy. It's just it was a little too far. To be fair, without the of the call stone, it's probably kind of balanced. It's just I have a problem with the of the call being because it affects the Beyonds themselves. They spawn portals. That's the crazy part. So you kill a Beyond mob, it has an 80% chance or something to create another portal.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, regular double beyond right now, League Stone Zana is like not that crazy. It is a noticeable bump in XP, but you're not like
Yeah.
freezing your game to like 2 FPS or anything like that.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I love it. I'm having lots of fun with it. I'm doing it. I'm going to be doing it for the rest of the league. But do I want this in future leagues where like of the callstones is mandatory to get nice XP? No, I don't think anything that becomes borderline mandatory is a good thing.
Hmm. I think when currency, I think that's creates like a lot of problems when currency becomes like the main thing that drives your levels. Because in the past, sure, it was kind of annoying if you wanted to get 100, just needed to spend a lot of time. But now if you can invest a fuck ton of currency into like Chayula breaches and all these things, like that kind of controls the game a little bit too much.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah. Well, which I mean, it has its benefits. I think it would be cool for like a league or two, right? That the people who have been always farming a lot of currency now can use this currency to level really fast, even if they don't care that much about playing a build that clears very fast. But it can clearly get out of hand when you combine those two things, a Vaal fireable build and like this thing. That can get a little bit messed up. Might even get level 100 in 21 hours.
Yeah,
That one guy.
That was pretty crazy.
that was pretty
That's
nice.
pretty fucking nuts.
That was all primordial pool, wasn't it?
It takes me to like that much to get to like, I don't know, 75 or so.
Like,
I'm
there
like,
are
if I
some
get
like really dumb
90
things you can do this league. Yeah.
If I get 90 in like, 24 hours, I'm happy in a new league. But yeah, that's like 1/50th of the way. or
There's a lot of
something.
logging out and stuff though. You're not like doing the trading and stuff on that
Yeah,
character.
of course. Yeah. And he was even rolling sextants on another character and using league stones.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a bit of an effort. But
Yeah,
still,
it's sort
let's
of the
say-
way you were
let's say
doing the
do
shaper
those
thing.
things. What's up?
When you were doing the shaper thing, you were doing something similar, like you were logging out a lot to like save time.
Yeah. I would well, I wouldn't like get to another character to do that stuff. I don't think. I don't remember. But I mean, still, it ended up being like 15 hours, and I wanted to be sure that it's like under 24 and it ended up being 15. But obviously I had all the gear preset and all that bullshit, so.
While we're on like the topic of it and stuff, because I've just felt it a lot recently with the whole like feeling like I have to start a new league to reset my Atlas and whatever. Do you guys actually think they're gonna touch like Atlas at all next league? I don't think they will. I think they'll be way
I
too
do.
caught up. Oh, you really? You think they'll have the time?
I
to
think
fix
they're
it?
gonna
New
move.
maps.
No, I think they're gonna move maps further away from each other to like change sections. I think they are going to. I'm okay. This is not something I think was gonna happen. I'm praying. Is after a while, Kaiser mentioned on the AMA, he said a good change would be that a white sextant can no longer affect a red sextant. So like even if it's in the radius of a red sextant, well, it only affects white maps. That's ridiculous right now. That there are a couple of maps where you can use 1 to 3 white sextants on to give additional pack size on red maps. Sextants aren't that bad because when they are so good, they're going to be expensive and stuff like that. But when you can use the white ones that drop like fucking popcorn on red maps, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna have enough time to mess around with that
Yeah,
stuff, to
same,
be honest. It's
same.
such a
That's not a big
complicated
change, though.
thing. What? What did you say?
That's not a big change. But and as I
It's
said,
such a big change though. Because then you're forced into more maps. I think the cool thing about Sextants is that you can give you, if well balanced, they can give you like the option to run whatever you want. But now the way they're built, you can only really do like 2-3 different maps. And if they were to do this change, you would be even more limited because there literally would be like one good setup. for
the
something
problem
like
I
that.
have with sextants right now is, and as Kaiser said on the podcast, if you're not running sextants on your map right now, you're fucking retarded. Like
Yay, retarded!
they are that good. Like they are that good. Like they make currency spawn way more than what they currently cost.
Yeah.
And that means
Just have
it's
to trade for
mandatory.
them,
I don't like things that are mandatory. I want to have the reasoning of, am I gonna do this because of X reason, or am I going to do that because of Y reason? And like different ups and downs. Now I have to do this. It's like domination back in the day. If you want map returns, you have to run domination on the map.
Yeah, but the problem is that the domination paid for itself. Like you didn't actually suffer from it. And this is kind of the same thing where sextants just pay for themselves. Maybe they have to really significantly reduce the drop rate of them so they're less available so people actually think about it. Because that was in the past too, right? With chisels, where chisels were really expensive and people were like, well, I am losing currency if I'm chiseling, where nowadays they're so cheap. It's like you might as well chisel because it's literally free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been chiseling unique maps. Like I've literally put 20 chisels into unique map because, well, I mean, I have 1,600 chisels. Why not?
Hey, how much are
It's worth
chisels
it,
on
too.
hardcore right now?
I think the highest I've seen them was 8 or something to 1, but I think they're like
What?
5 or 6
They're
now.
2 to 1 on softcore.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's always at the beginning of the league. It's like 3 or 4 to
Check
1,
real
and then
quick.
it goes to like 2 to 1.
That's even weirder though, because like they don't offer any difficulty, right? So why
Yeah, I mean,
It's just
they have
so cheap
onslaught
art
to
stones now.
gain quality, right?
Yeah,
Well, they're just 3 to 1 right now.
onslaught
on
gives you a
hardcore.
flat 20. 3. Oh,
That's more reasonable, like 2 to 3 to 1, maybe 4 to 1. It's like what I usually I'm used to.
2 to 1. Oh my god.
yeah, it's pretty crazy. But still, like you still run out of sextants. I mean, like you said that they like drop so much. It's if you're doing even like a few white sextants, let's say for pools, assuming that you're re-rolling some bad mods here and there, you're not gonna like instantly get like fire, lightning, cold pack size barrels like on your first 5 rolls. So you're going to be spending much more than, like, let's say you use 4 white sextants, right? You're probably going to, on average, use like 6 or 7 through the re-rolling. You're going to run out pretty quickly.
I don't
Right, but
know.
with sextant blocking?
So solo self-found by the way, I never had a sextant problem. I never needed to trade, and not only would I never run out of sextants ever, and I use them on everything, with sextant blocking, granted. Obviously they give you a lot of currency too and items on top of it. So if you have the possibility of trading, you're never losing money, I don't think. No?
Yeah.
Well, you might not be losing money, but you're losing sextants. So like pools, I'm using on average, let's say 6 or 7 white sextants. So let's just say that's two chaos. No, now that there are 2 chaos, it's like 3 or 4 chaos per map, right? And I don't think, let's just say it's 2 sextants per map, okay? You're not finding a sextant every single map, right? Because they have 3 uses. Are you? Are you finding a white sextant every single map at least?
I'd say at least out of any sextants, you'll find at least 1 sextant per map. Either white, red, or yellow. At least 1 sextant per map. In a fully sextanted map with high quad, pretty high chance.
I don't know. So I was still running out on pools, I'll say that. So pools is 4 whites, 1 yellow. I was running out still. I don't know. Maybe you guys have like the glorious RNG that Chris has turned your knobs to 11 and he's turned mine down.
I don't know. Maybe you sell your master sextants or something, because I know people do that because you don't have to use them if you're running strands or shores. I mean, I was using those on whatever, right? Because they were essentially a journeyman's or an apprentice, so I could just freely use them on whatever I wanted.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm selling my reds, buying whites and yellows, particularly whites. It's like so easy to maintain when you like get a red one, you've gotten like 30, 40, yeah.
I meant like you're not self-sustaining. You can't just like 4 white sextant, 1 yellow every pool or.
But I did though. I
Oh,
literally sextanted like every map from 90 to 98 and a half and solo self-found, and I had no issue. Obviously, I wasn't selling my master sextants. I would use them every now and then. But outside of that, I wasn't really running out. Like, I'd be greedy about apprentice sextants sometimes, because I'd usually be on 0. So like my journeymans, I sustained 100% of the time. And then my apprentices, I would just use masters on dunes when having the blocking. I don't know, maybe people don't block them. I'm not sure. Maybe I was super lucky over the course of, that long period of time.
I was definitely blocking.
I think what's happened here is you've just described the levels of like streamer RMT. So CuteDog, you play in softcore, right? So Chris gives you a little bit of RMT. Now Ziz plays in hardcore, so he gets a bit more than you. But Raiz is solo self-found. So, and it's solo self-found hardcore, so he gets the most. Right?
I mean, people are like calling me out. What the fuck? I streamed at all. Like, what am I supposed to do? Watch the VODs? I don't know. Jesus.
I mean, for every, for those people that are like, hey, I've never found any of these orbs, there's always going to be someone on the other end that like finds all of the orbs. So maybe you're just happen to be on like the extremely lucky end.
I mean, it's tied into a lot of things, right? The amount of sextants you're blocking is probably bound to your quantity, how much pack size you're running on your maps. All these things build into it. I don't know. It could be that I was just really fucking lucky over that, but... And also, I didn't run any sextants until like level 90, so I had like 100 or so sextants built up, before I started doing this. I don't know.
Since we have got a wide mix of people here, what is like the current setup? Because I know that a lot of people are doing different things now. Like, what's the viewpoint with pool versus not pool? Like, if you were to like push, how would you do it now?
I just hate Primordial Pool as a map. I know it's good. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a great map. There's just something about it. I don't like it.
It requires more trading, which I don't like.
Yeah. I would be doing dunes and strand. Sorry, actually, I've changed it to mesa now because I have used before. I wouldn't use a lot of sextants, so dunes was fine to me. And like in the leagues, I would have used dunes a lot too. Like both roomies and Lionized Roar was worth a lot, so I'd be making quite a lot of my money back on divination cards. And in those leagues, I'd be farming like 5 to 10 of those potions, right? So that's like easily like 1,000, 1,500 C in those leagues where roomies would be like 50 to 100. Line Ice Roar would be like 60-ish. So that was great. Right now, though, like both of those potions are pretty cheap. And I have started using Sextants more, like, and then I want that white map next to Strand. And I've been like, so I've actually changed to Mesa now, which I didn't before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would probably be doing Mesa and what do you call it? Strand. Oh, and something else which I find is really nice is Arachnid Tomb, because you can use like 2 or 3 white Sextants on it, which is crazy for building pool. Like sure, like while you're building your pool early on, you might not have a lot, but you triple Sextant and Arachnid Tubes, which white Sextants early on in hardcore is 0.5 to 1 C each. That's pretty beautiful.
Yeah, but if you Arachnid Tomb, you can't do shores, right? So that kind of.
Yeah.
If
Wait.
I mean, if you're blocking.
Yeah, but you can change that though. You can build up your pool and change. You can you can adapt to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can like run tombs until you get a better pool, and then you can switch to shores or whatever you want.
Yeah, and I prefer atolls for when you're not running any Sextants. So you can like use all your Sextants on like say Strand, and you make money back on Arachnid Tombs. And I've actually put Arachnid Tomb back on my allies, even though I know a lot of people prefer not having a tier 12. But 3 Arachnid Tombs is a Scriptorium, and Scriptoriums sell like hotcakes, and they're amazing for farming a shavs. You can get really lucky. I've done like 3 sessions now when I've done 20 to 30 Scriptoriums. First one, I got a full shavs in 20 maps, which will never happen again. Second one, I got 1 card in 30 maps. And then on the third session, I got like 7 cards in 30 maps. So it's very hit and miss, but Scriptoriums are definitely good to farm, especially with things like Opal Rings.
These maps that you're doing, you like running that layout though? Like Arachnid Tomb, it's like narrow, low mob density. Then you have to like do the little doors sections. And then Scriptorium is like a complete nightmare with eating your projectiles and like stuff unnecessarily. Like, is that enjoyable, I guess? For me, it's not. That's why
you can sell them. That's like the good with Scriptorium. They go for like quite a bit.
I still like Strand.
Yeah.
What's the thing with, because this league, before I fucked Atlas, I was just doing Mesa and Strand. Isn't the thing with Mesa where doesn't like it eat up half of your breaches though? Like if you get a breach on the wrong part of Mesa because it's got that thin bit, doesn't half it get like wasted?
Yeah, you can get some like really shitty breaches.
Yeah. Also, have any of you guys done Spider Forest? Because that's one thing that I want to try out now that I'm in softcore to farm those doctor cards. Like, have any of you guys tried that?
I don't
watch a lot of people do it.
From what I've seen, like I know people who do it and they say that it's worth, but I haven't like actually had a proper conversation with someone who's actually doing it.
Yeah.
I think I used to do Springs for that. Does Doctor still drop in Springs? I think it does.
No.
Doesn't anymore?
Spider Forest.
Spider Forest now? Okay. All right, because the boss changed, right? I think that's like...
It followed Illyria to Spider Forest.
Damn it.
Yo,
Springs was so
apparently I'm
good.
supposed to clarify real quick. Apparently you guys were talking about like fully sextanting maps, like using 5 or something.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking about blocking and using 1.
That explains why the sustain was easier. All right.
Yeah, but that's what, like, I was talking about blocking, so I thought that was like implemented, right? Or can you
Well, you
block
still
and
block.
still use like that many?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
so
can
on-
like chain
on
block.
pools- Yeah, pools it's
Yeah.
4 whites and 1 yellow, even if you block. Strands is like 3 yellows, 1 red, 1 white if you block. So it's a lot of sextants.
Okay, well, that explains a lot.
Right?
All
No
right, I
longer
mean-
dirt scum liar.
I'm still a dirt scum liar. You just don't know about it anymore.
Yeah.
See, this is the one of the things which does worry me a little bit with like how the game is going. Like you can take someone who's fairly like knowledgeable in PoE who's taken a break, and you have to explain the Atlas to them, and it takes a while to get their head around it. Then you need to explain this whole like sextant blocking thing. I feel like we're like the community is always like 1 or 2 steps behind. So if we have this thing of like, let's say that every other league GGG is trying to fix sextants, are we just gonna always be in this problem where it's just like 10 people know about it and doing amazing, then everyone else is like, I don't fucking know. Like I feel like some people just don't understand sextants. Whenever the conversation comes up, it's like, ugh. And the fact that we just had this thing here where you're talking about like doing the super primordial pull, and Rice was like, oh, dude, I'm doing my sextants. Like what? I don't know.
So Tarke, how does sextant blocking work?
I haven't done it. I vaguely know how it works though, because no. This is the trick, right? So most people get bitch boys who play support. I have a bitch boy who rolls all my maps for me. The problem is his PC's broke. That's why I'm happy to do my shit now. But Okay, so let's say that like strand is the thing you're doing. So you plop your strand in. So you've got your shaped strand, and then you have the shitty surrounding maps, right? You block or you roll the bad Sextant mods on them. Yes. So then you do your other ones, and voila.
Oh, the other ones.
Yes. Basically.
Okay, that was pretty good. That was a pretty good explanation. I like that. Like you explained it better than Bakes usually explains it, because he explains like 20,000 times every stream. It's basically like this, guys. No, I'm not even gonna try to explain it.
It's fucked, dude. If you can't show it, it's fucked.
Well, it's like this. It's actually, you can do it. So if people are watching the actual video, if Tarke Cat is the map that you want to run, and RaizQT and my cams are the maps that you're going to roll Sextants on, then anything touching RaizQT or my cam, those maps, you have to put the bad mods on. There's the visualization right there.
Question mark?
Question marks?
I think it's super easy to understand.
Yoji's
It's
just like, you're all fucking retarded. Like, but it's, how would you explain it though? Because it is a very hard system to like very straightforward explain. Like
It's
what
just a
would
Venn diagram.
Let them struggle.
Yeah, it takes a while. It's like strands is easy because you can tell somebody there's like 5 or 6 maps. Just put bad things on this like backwards L shape, and then you're done. There's like no, like really nothing to it. You just roll it on dunes, and there's no order. But then like with like pools, you want to do like the yellow one first because it's the most valuable, and then you want to do the top left one because it's not blocked by anything. And then like people have to do it the order. It's like really annoying.
Okay.
And I think Shore is like even more advanced than that.
That made my day. That was great.
God.
feels good.
I think it's
good
good
thing-
that there's things like that. I think
Yeah.
it's really.
I mean, the good thing is like you don't have to understand it. You could just copy someone else's atlas. Like you basically, someone can tell you if you want to run strands, roll bad mods there.
Yeah.
Roll good mods there and there and there. Run strands until it runs out. Refresh.
Feel like the
Really,
most
I
impor-
hate that. No.
But it works. That's like for the people who don't want to
But
don't
that
want to deal with the
doesn't
system.
work.
It does
no,
work.
that's like the
It-
people
yeah.
that go on the forums and they copy a build and they don't
Yeah.
understand anything about it. And then they're like, I don't know, they're playing I don't know, a bow build and using Lion Roar's flask or something because they just haven't looked into anything. They just like copied stuff. I don't know.
The thing
But
is,
Well, this is
when they
this is
still have
like
fun, it's okay, right?
yeah, on the stream you do it once, all league, right? You do it once and you're completely done. So I think in this case it might be okay to ask like the streamer, hey, just give me a screenshot of all the mods on like the L by strand, and you can't actually copy that. I mean, there's still like the pool is larger than what you can block, so there's like some variance there. But if you copy someone's, you're still okay.
Yeah. I think the most important thing to block is slipstreams. There's like no scenario where you should be running slipstreams on a map.
What does it even do? It's like these
Removes
things that
half
speed
the map.
stuff up.
No, it removes half your pack size. Half the map mobs gone.
The mobs get replaced by the slipstreams or what?
Packs
That's
get
retarded.
What about
removed.
that?
That's retarded. I ran that like once or so because I randomly got it. I was like, hey, what is this? But back when Sextants were like the rework was new, and I was like, hey, it kind of makes me faster. But yeah, if they replace mobs, it's never. It's like the worst thing ever. It's like minus pack size. Yay.
And physical mobs. Like sometimes if you're running maps with Finnish people, they'll like put physical Sextant mobs on when you're Valspark or something, and they won't tell you. And then you're dead.
What physical mobs?
The
Proximity shields.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
they
so
have
annoying.
proximity shields.
And they all like
Yeah.
stack on top of each other, so it
Then you
becomes
can't do
real
anything.
annoying.
Oh, that's cool.
And no, that is
Yeah,
really
thanks,
not cool.
Emily.
On my Shrapnel Shot Herald build, one of the first maps I tried to run, I'd forgotten that I'd like pre-sextanted my atlas from a previous character. I just walked as like, oh, that's a lot of proximity shield. Maybe? No, fuck this rip map. It was like, oh, they're horrible. Yeah, no, fuck those mobs. I really hate those mobs with a passion. One thing, though, and this is like, so Carve thinks I'm an idiot for wanting this, so I just want your opinion. Should there be a recipe to just blanket reset the atlas?
I always agree with Calf, so I agree with Calf. You're an idiot.
Really? Because I think it's
Calf,
sort of...
Calf usually, like, I've argued with Calf, but he's like basically always been right. So I don't even need to know what it's about.
I
It would
just
have to be like extremely expensive, right?
Yeah,
Because
like,
right
it
now
can
a
be
lot of the
ridiculously
sextant
expensive.
economy,
Yeah.
it's like red sext. Most of the map is like red, so like the 3 red sextants. That's so like what is that? Like 15 chaos to respec one map? It's kind of crazy.
It's like I worked out to fix my Atlas was depending on like how perfectionist I was about it. It was about like 4 to 5 exalts. And
Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of a big deal.
Red sextants are crazy. Like when I was doing, I've been like farming divine orbs just because I have so much fun just dropping 6 things. So I've been like rolling the like unique monsters, drop corrupted items, then doing like that crazy beyond stuff. But then whenever I'm like trying to get something good on the courtyard, it's like, ow, 5 chaos, ow.
Yeah.
That shit hurts.
Yeah. I don't know.
CuteDog evacuated.
Feels
Yeah,
good.
but maybe if they
Somehow.
actually make it so that white and yellow sextants can't affect red maps, like they can only affect like same or lower tier, then maybe red sextants could
I feel
become
like they should
really
have-
expensive and not just some
Yeah.
like a little bit expensive.
I feel like they should have different. I feel like the red sextants, and they are appropriately rare to do this too. Like, should have a larger radius and maybe 4 or 5 uses instead. Like the white sextants are fine, and they should only be for white maps in my opinion. But make there like significant difference between them, where like the yellow ones maybe have 4 uses, the red ones 5, and slightly bigger radius.
Yeah, they already do have different mod pools, right?
Oh, it's only red. There's one thing that can only be on red maps, I think, like the Nemesis
maybe-
one.
Yeah, maybe they should then like change it a bit, have some like really nice stuff only roll on the higher ones, so they have more incentive to use those.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the pools.
I just remember that I discovered there's some different pools, but I don't know how much big the difference is. When I would try to get the challenge done for like running all the sextant mods, and I was before not sextanting. That was a really horrible challenge, by the way.
Yeah. Is that chocolate?
No,
What is that? Oh, look,
some
Hey, guys.
fruity stuff.
Oh, that looks
What
nice.
happened?
What is
We'll
that?
work out what you got, yeah? What you
Oh.
got?
This is a Chinese cake. Chinese strawberry
Oh.
cake.
And did you bring enough for everyone?
I only have 3 of them. So
Fight to the death.
sorry guys. It's pretty delicious. I'm trying to get some gains.
But okay. Well, since we've kind of gone all over the shop, does anyone have any like rants or topics they want to talk about before we finish up?
I still don't get how different you look on your 2 cameras.
Someone just show chat that. That's fucked up.
Yeah, it's
Um,
incredible.
I could show chat by
I'll-
showing
I'll-
Skype,
I'll
but
make
there's no
a-
clean way of doing it.
I'll
Make a
make
screenshot.
I'll
Yeah,
make a screenshot.
If you put a screenshot in chat, I can then show it for the stream for everyone.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, then this does it.
Look pretty
because
good.
Right,
I
Ziz,
think
you
I've
do it.
already-
Like, paint over any info or whatever you don't want shown. So just like whatever, and then I'll show it. But like, I have a little bit of white balancing done on one camera that isn't done on the other. Like, I don't know. Maybe that's my film school coming to work. But I've correctly balanced one camera and the other one isn't. I don't know.
Basically, on the podcast, he looks
He's
like a
hot.
ghost, and in real life, he looks like a drunkard. That's what it is.
Yeah, it's like yeah, it's like on the podcast he uses like the anti-bum filter, so he doesn't look like a bum anymore.
Feels good. Though.
Oh no! We
Yeah.
need the
Just like,
screenshot fast.
Just out all the alcohol, all the homelessness, all the like bad hair, like everything. It just gets filtered out.
If there are any Instagram models out there, then I can hook you up with some PogChamp filters. Yeah.
Hashtag no filter.
The
feels
filter
good,
that
man.
makes me look less like a small, fat midget. Are there filters of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Where do I send it to you?
Just put it in Twitch chat and I'll pick it up from there.
Oh, should I have to upload it somewhere then?
Just throw it in Nimgo.
Yeah, I can't do that. I keep saying upload failed. What's another site?
You guys
Oh.
don't have that one
You're
thing?
always work for
Light
me.
Pornhub.
shot? Like, give me like literally 1 second.
Can we get like some illegal Polish site?
No, like I have made the image. I just need
Use Light
some
Shot. My friend uses it all
Dark
the time.
smile.
light shot.
Mm,
I don't know why it's
I
broken.
got
for me.
it.
What?
One,
Download
two,
light shot
three.
for free. This is terrible.
Make sure
No, I
you
got
block
it.
any like Skype info, Rise, because this is very protective of his Skype info.
I'm
I was
I'm
watching
showing
the Brian
your
King
Skype
fight.
info. Is that okay?
Yeah, that fight looks sick.
I mean, I can
show
send
your
it. I
info.
can set it in the Skype call and someone else can upload it.
Yeah, sure, do that.
There, it's the sky. Someone else upload it.
Not complicated at all.
I can guarantee, chat, this is like
This-
way too much hype for something really not that cool.
So weird.
Fuck, why doesn't it let me screenshot anymore? Fuck's
He doesn't,
sake.
he doesn't even look that drunk in that one. You have to add, like, he looks way worse on average. This is
Cheers.
this looks like a
one
really
thing,
good
one thing I will say
Oh,
though
I got a good one.
is for some reason I do not photograph well at all. I think it's just like
That's a lie. I saw you on the Baeclast poster. You look hot.
Yeah,
well,
that's
yeah,
true.
that's true.
I got a good
That's
one.
true. But I think that was someone took a still from something. Right, let's see this random image.
I just saw that there's an elephant pet coming
Hmm.
on our podcast.
It's
That-
out.
The red.
It's already
Yeah,
out.
kangaroo.
What the-
Yeah. The elephant and kangaroo. I mean, it's a wallaby.
Look,
It's
he
the
lives
same thing, right?
homeless.
It was a wallaby, this baby kangaroo.
What?
Alright, give me a second. Give me a second.
Wait, what are you guys talking about? What's going on?
Alright,
Elephant.
New pets.
that is the image. The people freaking out.
No, this one isn't even that bad.
It's not that bad. Like it's just lighting.
I don't know why you're showing
That
that,
was a bad
massive
image.
dildo on
Look,
stream, though. You're gonna get banned
when-
for that shit, dude.
When we
Should've removed
first
the
started
dildo
this
from the
call,
picture.
that was crazy. No, see that's not a very good image. But
He looks kind of
at the very beginning of this call, it was like he was like flushed. His hair was like all a mess, and he was like hunched over. He was like, hey guys.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was like, shit, is Tarke gonna go get ready before? Or is he actually, this isn't presentable? And then he turns on the podcast, and I'm like,
Ziz,
what
for
the
the
fuck?
for the record, if anyone isn't presentable right now, I don't think it's me.
It's the Smurf.
What's wrong with blue hair?
Nothing's wrong with the blue hair. We're talking about the blue face.
Oh, that's blue. That's just my skin color. I'm pale.
I'm
sure,
pale,
I'm
but
sure
like
Kenzo loves it.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
she
not
does
blue right
actually.
now. Like I'm just saying. Like if
Yeah,
I had
they're
a
in
daughter and she brought her boyfriend
Wow.
home and it was you, I'd be like, ooh. Can't you get that drunk guy from Baeclast? Like get him.
There, the skin's blue.
That's pretty blue on the edges. It's not so bad on the face.
All right, so is that the final rant?
Right? Yeah. I look homeless
guys.
apparently.
I couldn't move.
I couldn't move, man.
Okay then.
I'm so happy
Yep.
it wasn't about me. It was about Tarke
I was
instead.
so disappointed. I was like, Tarke, how are we feeling about couldn't move me? So he's like, it's fine. I'm like, sweet, gonna do some RaizQT memes. And he's like, oh yeah, here's how I was like, wait, what?
One day, no piety memes. Although that's not true. And one day I couldn't move. Nice score.
Yeah, and then you like
God.
your explanation of the video. It's like, why would I be saying that? I can't move. Why would I say that?
You know what's the funny part now? If you've seen the Hazard's video after the change, because okay, I can go on a final rant. Sure. You guys remember when I said that I'm gonna play that Mjolnir, Dumb Blow, Low Life, Mass Aura thing, and it was great, and that's what we finished the third episode, I think, with.
Yep.
Because it wasn't working. It was crashing servers, right? It was actually rolling back and everything. So I'm like, okay, this character is clearly unplayable. So I'm gonna fucking remove all this gear and delete it the next day. And that's exactly what I did. And a day later, GGG released a patch, and apparently now it's totally fine. You know, only took him like 3 years, but apparently, to anybody that missed it, there was like a tiny patch that was talking about like aura calculations and stuff. It works now. I don't know if it works with that specific build. Maybe you should try it. Fucking hell, I will never again. But if you want to play SRS, you can now move.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a positive
Nice.
rant. Yeah.
So
Well,
on that note,
What?
with Tomato Tarke on stream, Ziz, I'd like to thank you for coming on. And
I love coming.
Okay.
Yeah.